Day 3 of the Steven Russell Memorial Tournament is set to get underway here in Invisalign Arena. Nick Perazzi here on ESPN Plus as the Louisville Cardinals head to Morrisville to take on the NC State Ice Pack in the final game of this tournament. But first, let's take a deep dive into the inspiration of this tournament.
Just as ripples spread out when a single pebble is dropped into water, the actions of individuals can have far-reaching effects. This is the story of one of those ripples.
He never really liked to be the center of attention. He was, I won't say shy, because he didn't mind getting involved, but Steven was the kind of person who always stood at the periphery of a crowd to see what people needed.
Stephen Patrick Russell was born on May 22, 1986 in the mountains of Newfoundland, Canada. Immediately drawn to athletics by his preteen years, Russell's first sport was not hockey, but instead America's pastime.
Steven didn't start until 12. He was a big baseball player and was a catcher. And so at 12, he decided that he wanted to try out. A lot of his friends were playing hockey, and actually that was really the first time, other than school skating and things, that he actually really stepped on the ice to skate. And so he became a goalie, kind of. They said, okay, well, this is the position that we have available, you can try. As soon as he got into the net, he absolutely fell in love with it, and then proceeded, as he did with anything, to be super competitive and work his butt off to kind of gain the knowledge and the skill to be the best that he could be.
Russell and his parents moved to Charlotte, North Carolina in the early 2000s. When it came time for Stephen to choose his college, North Carolina State University was his decision.
He was known as a good guy that everybody liked, had a lot of fun, good student, good goaltender, good hockey player, good teammate.
He was always there for you. There were certain guys on the team that, he obviously, by living with, he was really, really tight with.
He was very intense even before the game even started. When you wake up in the morning, he had his routine for getting going on game days.
For as giving as he was also super competitive playing hockey, and he was super competitive in anything really, yes.
Everything we did was competitive, whether it was playing hockey or playing video games or just anything, whether pumpkin carving. We would do pumpkin carving, and you wanted to have the best pumpkin.
He loved his school, he loved his boys, he loved the team, and he was living large.
911, what's the nature of your emergency?
I mean, we got the call. It was, you just never expect that to happen. It was awful.
It was 4th of July, early evening, and we got the call, and they said Stephen was missing. They were looking for him. So we drove from 8 o'clock at night on, and it was so strange. We'll never forget it. In the CD player was his CD.
Yeah.
And it was the strangest thing in the world to have him talking to us.
That's what it felt like.
Through the entire ride with his CD playing.
I just got back from Chicago that day, and I got the phone call in the morning, and it was from his phone.
And I remember hearing word from one of our teammates that there was an accident at Jordan Lake, and Stephen had passed.
While trying to cross the lake through an alcove, Russell disappeared beneath the surface of the murky lake water. Search crews attempted to find Russell, but due to visibility concerns, the search was called off until the next day. On the morning of Sunday, July 5th, 2009, near the Farrington Point boat access ramp, Russell's body was recovered.
He was part of the NC State hockey family, and he'll always be.
And it was incredibly moving. The whole ceremony was, especially if you were there live, it was the moment, and they had the jersey in the net, and the boys tapped the post at the end of the ceremony, which was incredibly emotional. To have the coaches and those boys decide to honor and remember him in that way, to this day, it still gives us comfort. When we look at that banner and we see this tournament, we're so thankful to the people when we were completely shattered, that they said, we want to remember your boy this way. And even though we've only known him for 3 years, this is the impact that he's had on us. that gave me more comfort than I will ever be able to convey.
The guys have understood from the time they've come in as freshmen what this is about, and they're here for the 4 years, and they make sure that the incoming freshmen know what this is about, and that's how you build a legacy. I would hope that he watches from above every year, and I would hope that he was cheering us on, and I would hope that he would realize that even though guys don't know him, that he still left that kind of a mark on people.
So what came from that very dark, dark night, we figured out a way to take who he was and pay it forward. This is everything that we do, the tournament, the writing, all of that. Everything that we do, we like to call Steven's ripple. This is his ripple out for other people, and this tournament included.
NC State and Louisville minutes away from puck drop here at Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman back alongside Nick Perazzi as we get set for our final broadcast of the Stephen Russell Memorial Tournament. And Nick, NC State, big bounce back win last night, a shutout against Bowling Green. Yeah, and I said it last time, I'm going to say it again, it was a get back in for NC State. They found their footing, they stopped the bleeding with back-to-back home losses. They got a good win last night, but it's all focused today. Got to go 1-0 today against a good Louisville team.
Yeah, and you bring up Louisville. This is going to be another strong test for NC State like UNH was a couple of nights ago. This is a team that has been a contender. They're going to be up there in the regional rankings when the first ACHA regional rankings come out. They're going to be a Division I team and an opponent for NC State next year when the Ice Pack make the move. So it's going to be a good test today.
It's going to be a good test. They were able to pretty handily take away in the third period against Wilmington right now. He's down 1-0 against Bowling Green on the other rink. but a 6-5 loss last night for Louisville. A lot of hanging their head around, though. They got really good players in terms of scoring-wise. I think the guys you got to look out for today, number 21, Andrew Murray. Leads the team in scoring. He's got 7 goals, 7 assists. You also got to look out for number 4, Carl Dalton. And then how about Nick Beeman on the defensive end? 5 goals, 5 assists from a defensive end.
Yeah, when you have somebody who can jump up the rush, it certainly makes it dangerous. Another thing I want to look at for this game, we talked about it, the goalie rotation for NC State. We'll get a look at the third goaltender here today. We've seen him plenty, and he's been good. It's Isaac Toyer.
Yeah, and Isaac Toyer's last game obviously didn't go as he wanted it to within that loss to UNC. And I think there was a lot to work on in that game. A lot of those goals, though, weren't his fault. A lot of just defensive lapses. Puck watching as well. His defense needs to help him out tonight because they've kind of leaned on him a lot already this season. He needs a bit of a breather tonight.
Well, he'll certainly get a good test against Louisville in this one. NC State has also shaken up the lineup again on the forward side, so there are going to be a few other combinations that we'll keep an eye on throughout the game. But we're going to step aside. We'll take a look at that after this. NC State and Louisville coming up next.
My name is Zach Herman. I'm the captain of the NC State Ice Pack, and I was born and raised in the Raleigh area. We are a self-funded program doing our best to represent our university and the local hockey community in Raleigh on a national level.
My name is Alex James, and I'm a senior assistant captain from Lake Norman, North Carolina. The group you're watching out on the ice is a family, and that family does its best to represent you and the rest of the NC State community as best we can each and every day. Some of my top memories from this program include playing in front of over 20,000 NC State fans at Carter Finley, playing in front of over 10,000 NC State fans at Lenovo Center every year, and getting to play in front of a packed house every Friday night at Invisalign Arena.
We welcome and appreciate all your support along the way. Go Pack!
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena here in Morrisville, North Carolina. Chris Lehman and Nick Perazzi with you. We're just a couple minutes away from opening puck drop. A little bit different of a pregame routine for the teams tonight. There will be no fresh cut of the ice after warm-ups, as just part of a way of helping these teams from out of town like Louisville get on the road a little bit quicker and get back to where they call home, I guess you should say, as they get set to go home after a long weekend. But it should be an interesting one, as we mentioned, should be a really good matchup. NC State, obviously, last weekend with a tight game, losing in a shootout to North Carolina. It was a tight game for Louisville last night against North Carolina. Same score, as a matter of fact, 6-5 final.
But one thing that I want to take a look at here, Nick, that could be a little bit interesting, there was a bit of an issue, it sounds like, for Louisville with their white uniforms, so they couldn't wear them today, and instead are wearing what you can see there, the black uniforms with the red trim. There's a good amount of red on those jerseys, though, and it could be a little bit problematic when things get going at full speed.
It could, and both teams as well wearing black helmets does not really help too much either. However, I do believe since Louisville does have a bit of a more saturated red versus NC State's more kind of noisy red, I think that could benefit both teams. However, I don't know if there's going to be too much confusion going on, especially because of the pants also being both black and the main color of the jersey being different. That's really all that matters, but you never know. And it could cause a problem for us up here as well.
Yeah. Well, NC State just about set to get rolling. We're now going to turn to the Perazzi points as I hand it over to my partner here, Nick. What are our Perazzi points for this third and final contest?
Well, got to keep up with themes this weekend. So the theme today is just hangovers, good old hangovers, especially since, got out of here, ended our broadcast after midnight last night. We're back on less than 12 hours later. So my first Perazzi point, both teams aside, take that Advil. It's going to be a physical game. Louisville played very physical against Wilmington. NC State's been a little bit hesitant to bring the physicality the last couple nights, not taking a lot of penalties. I think it's going to be a very physical game that's going to be won between the boards, on the boards. Next, keep it quiet. Shh, no noise. No penalties is what I'm going to go with here. NC State's power play has been lethal. They can't rely too much on Isaac Toyer. Louisville's got to do a good job of limiting their penalties because of how good this NC State power play is and try to get some penalties drawn against the Ice Pack. And finally, take your electrolytes. Get energized. It's 11:50. 10-minute warm-ups. No fresh cut after warm-ups. It's going to be a dirty first period, so I think both teams, you got to bring the energy, bring the positivity, and you got to get going.
Well, I think most importantly for these two teams is the start of the game, getting your legs under you as quickly as possible and kind of getting into the rhythm, because if there's one way to kind of combat that fatigue that both teams, I'm sure, are feeling at this point, considering the fact that for NC State, less than a 12-hour turnaround from the final buzzer last night against Bowling Green to this one, and even less time for this Louisville team. They were heading into the third period as NC State was finishing things up. So both of these teams going to be feeling those effects of it, and so I think it's going to be really important. Whoever is out there to start the game on both sides, they're going to have to come out with some energy and spark things as we get it rolling here this evening. And no surprise for NC State, if they want some energy, they're going to go to their best line from last night. It's, I think, actually the only line that is fully intact from last night's game. Holden Kaufman centering Nick Shook and Braden Strong. We will see Ricky Frosch and Keegan Gilmore on the back end for the Ice Pack. And of course, as we mentioned, Isaac Toyer between the pipes for NC State. Ethan McDonough out there along with Jonathan Patch and number 7, Noah Malcolm, the forward line for Louisville. It will be Brendan Polinsky and Nick Beeman on the back end. NC State controls the draw. They send it into the Cardinals zone. Right back out. Frosch through the middle, deflected in by Strong. NC State will go in on the check as Shook chases down Helinski. Up the far wall, stopped up at the blue line there by Kaufman, but he can't control. At the red line, it's shot in now by Helinski. Wrapped all the way around the wall into the corner. And then shot up the boards where NC State can break it out. Space in the middle for Braden Strong. Across the blue line, he'll look to the middle and throws it right to a defenseman there, and Jonathan Patch. That might be a little bit of the red bleeding through there. He didn't quite have a full view there. And to me, that's where this could be a bit of trouble for these two teams, is when you have players in your peripheral and things can get a little jumpy.
That's when you got to make a quick pass, quick decision. That's where it's going to affect you the most.
Shot up the wall there by NC State's Robinson. Or pardon me, Prasma all the way down. No icing, so Louisville will look to break out of the zone. Murray chipped forward. It'll be floated into the zone now by Hester. NC State shoots it all the way around. It will hop the stick of the defenseman Carl Drew and get into the neutral zone. Both these teams seem a little bit tired and hesitant coming in, but a chance they score. Breaking down the middle is Dalton Carl, and Louisville takes the lead less than a minute and a half in.
Well, we mentioned those callers can lead to bad turnovers when you have to be quick. And looking at this replay, right over the stick of Herman, and then it's just Bronson had it in his skate, just not a clean pass. Easy turnover there for Robert Bird, and then he fires it home. And just an easy move to get around Toyer. Not much Isaac Toyer could do there. And a quick 1-0 lead for the Ville. And they're looking very physical. We haven't seen as much physicality as you expect yet. However, they're not afraid to throw the body around, and they're being very quick to the puck. They seem more energized right now.
Louisville wins the draw, played up the wall and all the way into the NC State end where it can be taken by Weglars. Left at the blue line for McEnany by Reese Johnson. He's unable to control. Louisville takes it back. That's Jake Shredders who shoots it in from the red line. Wrapped around the wall. Johnson there with it on the far side. Tangled up in his skate. Shot right on goal. Rebound out in front. Chance here for Louisville. Curling and dragging Shredders. Stuffs it out in front. Toyer's got the low side sealed. NC State has trouble breaking it out though. Sent back into the corner by Anestis. He's got a teammate there in Shredders. Shot around the wall. And in the near corner, Cardinals in control. Back up top for Drew. His shot through traffic. Loose on the rebound, and the stuff try doesn't go on the second attempt. Point blank chance there for Anestis, and NC State will be able to avoid another one. 2.5 gone in this first period. Weglars in the corner. Plays it up the wall. It's deflected right back to him. Good forecheck from Louisville, knocks it loose. Back behind the goal, it's Anestis. Pushes it up the wall, nobody in a black jersey there. NC State able to move it out now. Here comes Thomas McEnany. Shoots one, rising over the crossbar. Robinson finds the rebound on the far side. He'll play it back behind the goal for Daniel. Slid up top for Frosch. That pass disrupted. Here go the Cardinals. Cooper O'Neill has a man in the middle looking across and elects to shoot it on goal. It'll be gloved by Toyer for a faceoff.
Cooper O'Neill just has a full head of steam, and he's a freight train coming down the other way, going for that loose puck. And just sends it on goal. Couldn't get the middle, but when you're not able to get the middle, you shoot it on goal, force a face-off. Louisville's had most of this O-zone time, most possession of the puck. They seem like the more consistent team right now. They seem like the team with more energy as well.
Oh, and right now, NC State being outshot 6-0 in the first 3 minutes. As Louisville holds the zone at the blue line, Whitaker Proctor shoots it in. First one there, Robinson, as it comes around the wall to the far side. He'll shoot it all the way down, and Daniel will win the race to it. Slaps it to the middle, off the pad of the goaltender, and Brzezinski. NC State can't find the rebound. Lofted up to the blue line. Louisville able to break it out. Emery Oliver bodies up his man and takes the puck. Along for Ricky Frosch. Frosch elevates it in. Gloved down by Nick Beeman. He'll play it up the wall for Proctor. Proctor with speed through the neutral zone. Slaps it off the wall for McDonough. He'll be knocked off the puck, but there to pick it up is Jonathan Patch. Sends it around to the near side. Out in front, Toyer able to cover it up. We'll get another O-zone face-off for Louisville.
Well, I'm going to go with the goaltending breakdown on the other end. I haven't mentioned his name at all. Net for the Cardinals, Luke Brzezinski, junior from Shorewood, Illinois. He's undefeated this year as of going into Friday night's game. 4-0, 10 goals allowed, a 1.9 goals against average, and a .944 save percentage. He's the real deal, and when you're getting outshot 7-0 in the first 4 minutes, you got to get to Brzezinski if you want a chance in this game. Already down 1-0. You do have Isaac Toyer if you're NC State, but it's a tough task to get a goal in on Brzezinski, and it requires zone time, which NC State has not had at all tonight.
Louisville chance in the high slot. Shot doesn't get through to the net. Good chance there for Patch. NC State along the wall. Hooked up there. Kaufman loses it. Chance in front of sliding. Toyer knocks it away. Good aggressive play on Ethan McDonough to shut that down. Lifted out by NC State. Bouncer through the neutral zone. Glove down, and a hand pass is called, as I believe that was Ethan Ducey getting a touch to it.
Louisville's got to be a little careful with their stick work, going and hacking players. I believe there could have been a hooking call right in front of the NC State net. Refs don't call it. It's been a story this weekend. Refs haven't really called much, but I think right now Louisville's only concern is really just calm down with the sticks and just keep this pressure on NC State.
Kaufman will take the draw for NC State, but it's Noah Malcolm winning it for the Cardinals. Faceoffs are 3-2 early in favor of Louisville as Nick Shook holds the line on the far side. He'll walk it down the wall below the goal line, looks to the middle, and that pass is denied. Up top now, McConaughey with the one-timer deflects wide of the goal. It'll be collected by Helinski, and well, it looked like he was going to, but it actually hops up to his netminder, and Brzezinski will hold on.
And still no shots on goal for NC State coming on the 5 minutes now. It's one of the worst starts we've seen from this team this season. They're not awake. They didn't take their electrolytes, and Louisville definitely has this morning. Or I should say afternoon now as we hit 12 p.m.
Off the draw, controlled by Louisville. Turning in that far corner with it, Josh Nardi can't clear. Centering pass off the side of the goal. They'll fight for it behind the net. Knocked to the near side and thrown off the glass. Unable to glove it down with Sodden. And it went off of a Louisville player on the bench. We'll get a stoppage.
Well, first shot on goal for NC State. They've got a number up there in the SOG category. But they're slowly building offensive zone time. I think right now Louisville's defense is doing a fantastic job as captain Dalton Carl wins another draw. It's that first line for Louisville. This is what got them that goal. They're very quick to the puck, and they're going to make you make quick decisions.
Well, they've turned NC State's defensemen over multiple times already here in the first 5+ minutes. They'll look to set up the forecheck here. 1-0 Louisville. The goal came about a minute and a half in from Dalton Carl. And that's the difference maker at the moment. Finch trying to chip it up the wall. Doesn't get out. Now Prasma to it. Played along for Herman, who throws it off the wall and out.
I'll be interested to see if Tim Healy goes with some line matching against his first line here with his fourth line.
Louisville in control again, up to the high slot. Shot coming, misses wide. Back behind the goal, Andrew Murray has it. Out in front, quick shot, they score. This time it's Robert Bird, 2-0 Cardinals.
Well, just right behind the net is where the play happens. Isaac Toyer doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. He's not going to be able to see anything back there. And it's just really good work by Louisville. It starts behind the net with Andrew Murray, and then right in the slot for a one-timer, bangs it home with Robert Bird, the freshman from Stockton, California. He's got 7 goals on the year. He's now has 4 assists as well. And it's just a disaster of a start for the Ice Pack. Quickly down 2-0, just 6 minutes in.
Well, and you do wonder how much of it has to do with the fatigue in the legs and the very, very short turnaround. Louisville wins the draw. NC State able to take it back at their own blue line. But Louisville doesn't look nearly as affected as NC State. And as we mentioned, they finished up later last night than the Ice Pack did.
56 in the first period.
Pass goes the length of the ice. Icing waved off. NC State in on the forecheck.
One thing that might affect that, Chris, Louisville staying at a hotel, NC State staying at their own residence. Normally when teams are out, most players usually try to get to bed right away when they're at the hotel versus if you're at home, you're more than likely going to spend some more time staying up. Versus Louisville had to take the bus home to the hotel. They all went to one place, all got there one time. NC State, varying factors. Just the little things could be affecting them.
Well, honestly, I was going to make the opposite argument there. You sleep better in your own bed, I would assume. But right now, the evidence is, at least through the first 7 minutes, to the contrary. Quick shot from the point, steered away by Toyer. Held in over on the far blue line by Anestis.
Well, it's a business trip for Louisville. That could be what it is, too.
Off the wall, Gifford takes the pass. Able to advance it out of the zone, but can't control it. Here's Carl Drew through the middle. Able to find a teammate there, and Anestis, and his shot is blocked. In the corner, they'll fight for it. Gilmore there along with NC State's McEnany, but it's Louisville winning that battle. Out for Bowers. Tosses it down the wall. Centering pass stopped up on the side of the goal. Now from the far side, it'll be collected by Helinski. He shoots it deep, out in front. Chance there in traffic, and it's deflected wide on the shot. Bowers again. Down along the hashes, some trouble controlling it for Anestis. And now he'll throw it towards the goal. It'll be deflected back behind.
A lot of puck watching in front for NC State. 3 players in front of the net. and they were just kind of all watching there, not making an effort to get the puck.
Gifford taking it in himself, 1-on-4, and he'll be stalled out at the high slot. Ooh. Big hit there on NC State's Brenner, pushing and shoving after the fact as Louisville moves up the ice. NC State resets behind their own goal. There's Emery Oliver. Stretch pass is intercepted, and we're going to have a penalty coming up. And we're going to get another look here, I think, at that hit on Brenner. I believe that is where the call is coming.
Yeah, Whitaker Proctor. It's for what he did after the hit. It's going to be interference, and it's a clean hit. He's just return hit, but then it was a little high, and then it's what happened after the play. We don't see it on the replay, but he went down, stood over him, since he made the big hit, and then also just kind of just started holding around his neck a little bit. There really wasn't any need to do that. You made the hit, you're going off for the change, and that's a big mistake there by Whitaker. There was absolutely no need to do that. You laid your man out, go down, get the line change, and set up offensively. Instead, this red-hot NC State power play will get to work.
Oh, Louisville clears it right off the draw. Important power play here for NC State. Still a lot of time in the game, obviously, but down 2-0 early. You'd like to, if you don't get a goal, at least build some momentum and start to establish yourself in the offensive end of the ice. Here's Prasma with some speed, picking it up as he heads through his own end. Lost some control at the red line. Prasma gains it back. He's stripped of the puck again, though. Cleared all the way down by Jonathan Patch. NC State, 40 seconds into the man advantage, have not been able to establish themselves on the power play yet. Sent right back down again on an errant pass. Nick Beeman getting the stick to it.
Well, one thing to note, Chris, we mentioned more line changes for NC State. No Brooks Willoughby Ray. He'd be out here right now on this power play 1 line.
Here's Robinson. He'll lug it behind the goal. Poked off his stick. Kaufman there to collect. He'll work behind the net again. Walking it up the near wall. Plays it along for Thronson. Slid across for Shook. Back over to the near side, and the pass deflected away from Gifford, who will now shoot it all the way around to Shook again. Sent down the wall. Behind the goal. Kaufman out in front. Rebound is there after the try from Gifford, and they stuff it home. Oh. A hit after the play. Gifford is slow to get up, and NC State might stay on the power play. Not sure what Helinski was thinking there.
And right after the goal, I don't know, because he kind of hacked at Brzezinski a little bit.
Part of the play. Puck was loose.
Yeah. It's going to be a goal for Zach Robinson. They're going to, he's the first there. And it won't be a penalty to Louisville. And Kaufman's behind the net. Calling for the puck all the way was Gifford. It's loose right in front. And I guess C-Rob didn't. And I didn't see
I think Gifford probably
push.
sold it a
He
little bit there.
That, yeah.
But I think if you're Helinski there, you've got to be careful because it was late. He wasn't in the scrum to begin with. And you can see right now Zach Herman is talking with the officials. He's like, hey, it was a hit high. It was from behind. It was after the play. But NC State will settle for the power play goal. We'll see if they can continue to build momentum after picking one up.
Interesting to see who they officially give that goal to, because Robinson was first back through the line, but Gifford was closest when the puck went in.
Puck deflected out of play off the draw.
It's going to be Zach Robinson just poking it in. Make this a 2-1 game, and NC State's got life. That power play, red hot now. I believe there are 3 for their last 3, Chris, on the power play.
So the goal officially goes to Robinson from Gifford as Louisville will look to set up in the offensive end off the draw. Upended there, Weglars. Work back behind the goal. Sodden having some trouble there. And they'll battle for it along the boards. Swept back around by Shredders. Now in Estes. Pinned to the wall. NC State takes it away. Johnson finds Gifford. Looking to thread the needle for Herman, who's in offside. NC State will have to check up as Carl Drew moves forward. Weglars now for NC State. His clearance glove down by Anestis and sent right back in.
We mentioned the red jerseys before. It's definitely hard to watch when they go onto the far end where NC State's at right now from our vantage point.
Here's Gifford. He'll throw one off the defenseman and into the netting. We'll get a face-off in front of Brzezinski as NC State switches up the lines.
Well, looking at the shots right now, 11-3 in favor of the Ville. But NC State's generated some offensive zone time, and right now just self-inflicted wounds is why NC State's only down by 1 in terms of why Louisville's let them come back.
In the corner, it'll be poked along behind. Here's Helinski. Shot up the wall, intercepted by Robinson and floated back in. Louisville will try the near side. Frosch pinches over and slows it down. Robinson keeps it in the zone and then sends it back behind the goal. Oliver through the middle. It hit his skate, still loose. Robinson with the shot that deflects past the goal. Here's Daniel. He's had a good couple of weekends the last 2 weeks. Picked up a goal last night. And this line has been strong here early.
It's been their best line, and I suggested they use it to match up against that first line, and that's exactly what Tim Healy's doing right now, employing his defensive forward line out there against Louisville's line number 1.
Andrew Murray spins it back around to the far corner. First one there is Dalton Carl. Ricky Frosch pestering him. Oliver over to help as he knocks the puck loose. Louisville, though, we talked about board battles as we have another hand up and another penalty that'll go against, I think, NC State this time. I think Oliver getting called for interference here. I think. Actually, no, this is going to go against... Yes, it will go against Oliver. I thought he was going to the bench there for a moment, but interference on Emery Oliver will give Louisville the power play.
I heard someone just scream "what" really high pitched when the play stopped. So didn't really see what happened there, but Louisville's power play will get to work. They're going to bring out the forwards of Ethan McDonough. They're going to bring Robert Bird, who's got 2 points already tonight. And then taking the face-off is Jonathan Patch. And the 2 defensemen out for them right now is Brendan Helinski and then forward Noah Malcolm. So just 1 D-man out there for Louisville. They love to be very offensive on the power play. They've got guys who have multiple points already tonight out there. And 2-1 game, NC State caught their breath, said, hey, we're here to play. Louisville could take full grasp and all momentum of this game with a goal here.
Off the draw in the corner, NC State looking to send it up the boards, but it won't get out. Here's Helinski walking the blue line. Plays it across for Malcolm, who gives it back. Slid along to the near side. Back up top, Helinski shoots it through traffic. Pad save made by Toyer. And he keeps it out for now. Big save from the NC State netminder. He's been doing that a lot the last couple weeks. Puck hops the stick of Helinski and gets out. NC State unable to change up any of their penalty-killing unit, though. At the blue line, Finch steals it away. He'll shoot it right in on goal, and now NC State can make that change.
Now, some frustration there from Jonathan Patch saying, what are we doing, as he heads to the bench as Louisville gets a couple fresh forwards out there.
With speed through the neutral zone, it's Ethan McDonough. He'll chase it down in that far corner and turn it back up the wall. Kicked along, Helinski will step into it. He'll walk it along and hand it off in the corner. Back up top, McDonough. Moved across to Murray. Again, McDonough. One more time for Andrew Murray. Helinski plays it across to Malcolm. Shot through traffic, and Louisville's done an excellent job of getting traffic in front of Toyer, but the puck not always getting through.
Right now, NC State's made good adjustments. 49 seconds left on this power play. I believe what it is as well is, NC State's getting to the puck. They're taking away those passing lanes. They're making Louisville play from the point as opposed to behind the net, which they got their second goal from, or where they set up a lot of their offense tonight.
Down to 47 seconds on the Louisville power play. NC State wins the draw and clears the zone. And they'll look to bleed off some more of this penalty clock. Gaining speed through neutral ice, Josh Nardi carries it in himself. Chases it down after the centering pass. Over on the far side, he'll slap it all the way around to the near wall, and it'll be chipped out by McEnany. NC State is going to have to defend one more push here to finish off the penalty kill. Far side, it's Nardi. Shoots it around the wall. First one there will be Andrew Murray of Louisville. Played back to Dalton Carl. On the blue line, shot in. Toyer makes the save and pounces on the rebound. with 2 seconds left on the penalty to Emery Oliver. And this is a spot here, if you're Louisville, you've got to keep an eye on the neutral zone because Oliver's going to be sprung out of the box here shortly.
Yeah, if NC State gets this faceoff win, they're just going to chip it as far as they can down the ice and hope that Oliver's able to chase it down. Emphasis on that rebound control from Isaac Toyer, because right in front of the net, Andrew Murray was lurking, looking for goal number 8 on the year.
Oliver out of the box off the draw, and it'll slide just past him, so no advantage for NC State with the man coming out of the box. But we're back to 5-on-5 hockey, 6 minutes left in the first period, and it's a 2-1 lead for the Louisville Cardinals. Shook into the zone. He'll walk the blue line, throws it through traffic and wide. Kaufman picks it up off the wall. Drop back for Thronson. Threaded to Strong through traffic. He missed just high. That was a good look. NC State still putting the pressure on. This line has been great the last couple of games for the Pack. But the pass to the middle intercepted, dumped all the way down, and McConaughey will win the race for icing.
Good job by McConaughey to beat that out. It's a long shift for Louisville, and they're going to have to keep those bodies out there. Louisville is able to win this draw. It's going to be get it to the red line and dump. If NC State wins this draw, they got to keep possession. We saw it a couple times last night after icings. They just immediately let one rip on goal. Easy save. Goalie covered it up. So they lose this draw. If they keep possession, you can't let it rip right away.
Shook stops things up in the high slot. Sent down behind the goal. Kaufman chasing after it. Helinski first there for the Cardinals. Moved along for an Estes, but not out. Shot back in by McConaughey, deflected by Strong, and it ends up in the near corner. This time Louisville able to elevate it out of the zone. Settled nicely by Shredders at the blue line. He'll be stalled out though by Thronson. And it's regrouped. Nick Beeman steps in, the defenseman dragging in front, and he scores around Toyer. He slides it in. Excellent individual effort, and it's back to a 2-goal lead.
Now, I said at the top of the broadcast, look out for number 5, Nick Beeman. He has 10 points and 5 goals as a defensiveman, and he shows you exactly why there. The alternate captain for the Cardinals just starts and undresses Cade McConaughey, and just silky mitts, and just got lucky. He was able to get it back. I believe he got a little bit of help there from Andrew Thronson to get his stick back on and deflect it in. A lot of those goals in open space for Louisville. Toyer struggled a little bit in that shootout against UNC last week with one on just skater and goalie situations. He frees the puck for a face-off here. And Louisville's seen that, and they're getting a lot of chances where their forwards are making a lot of moves on Toyer, and the defense can't help.
Well, it certainly feels like right now, to me, NC State feeling the effects of the 3-game weekend. Certainly it seems like more than Louisville at the moment. But still within striking distance, and they've picked up 1 goal. They've certainly had some offensive zone time. But unfortunately, it hasn't translated into shots. Right now, being outshot 13-4 here in the first 15 minutes of the game. Herman pitches it into the Louisville end. Chasing after it, Finch bodies his man up. Prasma there to help out. He'll be knocked down as he collected the puck. And now Prasma again behind the goal. Couldn't stuff it. Throws it through the crease. Nobody there in a red jersey as Herman gets tied up going after it, and Louisville will clear the zone.
This first line for NC State is very physical, as Louisville's going to have to come back out after an icing. But we're starting to see some chippiness, a lot of contact, a lot of just frustration. You could tell by the way, especially for that Prasma was playing. He took exception to that hit, was trying to generate some offense with that frustration. That's going to be a story as this game goes on. Who can hold those emotions the most? You already saw it cost Louisville a goal because they went down a man.
Herman wins the draw back for Prasma, immediately under pressure. He'll step wide, throws it off the pad of Brzezinski, and the Louisville defense clears it away from the net and then down the ice. This one, though, another icing call. And Louisville will have to keep those tired legs out. These are the kind of situations in a game against a tough opponent like Louisville where NC State's going to have to find a way to take advantage of. It's kind of a mistake for Louisville, keeping these legs out on the ice for a little bit too long. See if Herman can win it again. He's got Prasma back behind, wins it, shot coming, hit Finch on the way in. And now Louisville able to play it out of the zone. Noah Malcolm dispossessed. Turned back by Finch, and then eventually floated out of the zone.
Someone's stick broke, and I think they might be playing with it.
I'm trying to figure out if it's a piece of stick or if it's just a piece of tape. Play continues either way. Noah Malcolm walking in. Hands it off top of the far circle. Shot rings off the iron. NC State has it, and Prasma will move back out. Working 1-on-2. Puck gets stopped up at the blue line, and NC State's in offside.
And it was tape. I was watching the ref pick that up. That was a great opportunity for Louisville right in front, coming the other way. NC State could not take any advantage of the tired bodies. And I think NC State
might actually be a strap to a helmet that they picked up.
But I think NC State should have went with a line change there. You know, your first line was out there almost as long as Louisville's 5 guys were out there as well. And the way that second line's been playing, Strong, Kaufman, and Shook, would have liked to seen them come out there instead.
Louisville wins the face-off. Possessed by Josh Nardi. He'll throw it off the wall. Shot in by the Cardinals' Robert Bird, who picked up one of the 3 goals here in the first. Puck loose along the side of the goal, hacked away by the goaltender Toyer, and they'll fight for it in the corner now. Get a look at it up close. McEnany in there for NC State along with McConaughey. He'll be swept around the wall, pinching in. Louisville holds it at the defense. That's Jack Bowers. Eventually NC State forces it out. Gifford now moving forward. He's got Johnson coming with him, throws it right into the glove of Brzezinski, and he'll hold on.
Now, Reese Johnson did a fantastic job getting that puck out of there and starting the breakout. Silky mitts over there. But shooting angles are just not there for NC State right now. And against a goalie like Brzezinski, you saw how chaos in front created your only goal so far. I think you're going to have to get that again. You need to position yourself in front, get those loose pucks and stuff them in. You're not going to get a shot from the point like you did last night against Bowling Green to go.
Tangled up on the near side. A Cardinal loses a stick, and you can see things getting physical. These two teams not shying away from the contact as this game wears on. NC State still in the O zone. Gilmore takes a shot as he holds the zone. NC State possession high slot. McEnany still loose there. Eventually found by Anestis, who clears it out to the center ice logo. Johnson dumped there as he tried to body a man up, and Louisville gets it deep.
Something tells me these two teams don't like each other, the way they're playing. Physicality is just, we said it in the pregame, it's going to be a physical game, and Louisville has definitely brought it tonight.
Johnson trying to clear. Glove down, though, by Whitaker Proctor. Second try, NC State gets it out. Oliver trying to step around a hit, couldn't take the puck with him. And now Gilmore will collect. Oliver along to Robinson, who will loop back at center ice. Looking to the near side, he's got Emery Oliver. High slot shot coming. Fanned on by Oliver. Slides into the far corner where Louisville can send it down to the NC State blue line. Tate Sodden played forward for Robinson. Stopped just inside the blue line. NC State checks up. Shot in by Oliver again, but it'll be picked up and immediately carried out by Jake Shredders, who throws it off the glass high. Picked up behind the net by NC State. Just trying to press it up that near wall. It squirts loose, and now Weglars has some space. He'll gain the red line and float it in. Robinson in on the forecheck will win the race. Backhand pass out in front. Nobody in a red jersey there. And now Shredders, with the breakout pass to Nick Anestis. Again, it's Robinson. Looking to the middle, he's got Kaufman, who's bodied off the puck. Here's Tate Sodden for the Pack. Down to the final 60 seconds of the first. NC State trying to finish this period on a strong note, down 3-1. Nick Shook picks up the loose puck. He'll gain speed around his own net. Ends up getting stalled out in the far corner by John Patch. Patch takes a spill. NC State will come away with the puck now. 40 seconds left in the first. Kaufman forward. Looking to the net. Backhand try goes wide. He'll get back to it near side. Get some help from Strong, but NC State can't hold the zone. Still time to press it back in. Weglars throws it just wide of the goal. It'll settle behind the net. NC State making a change, so Louisville has some space to break it out. Shook steals it away at the blue line.
Well, as we end this first period, NC State's forecheck has been a little bit lacking. They've not been what we've seen from this team in previous weeks. Louisville's being just very careful breaking it out, and it's very easy for them because of that. I think NC State's got to be a little more physical there. And ultimately, I believe that's a big portion of why NC State's just got 5 shots on goal right now.
Yeah, they're getting outshot 13-5 by the Cardinals, and the thing that's going to be a focus, I think, for the remainder of this game is the physicality. Both teams, nobody's taking runs at each other, but like I said, nobody's shying away from contact. And so it's going to be important for NC State, one, to, as you talked about a little earlier, keep your cool as those things kind of bleed over after the whistle. But more importantly, if you're NC State, I think almost literally, I think they need to wake up. I don't think they're entirely there yet. I think partially because of the short turnaround, and of course in large part because they're playing about 8 hours earlier than they normally would.
Yeah, but you can't say the same for Louisville, and they have
Exactly.
a much shorter turnaround. So there must have been something with both coaches kind of went through this process with the short amount of turnaround between these games that has generated this. And I think if you're Tim Healy in that locker room right now, you really need to just wake this team up, whether it's just give them a good old-fashioned yelling or just get everybody riled up. It's going to be one of those things. I think you just got to get the team going.
All right, well, as Zamboni heads out onto the ice, we'll have a clean set of ice for the second. We'll be back with the first intermission.
Nick Barrazzi back here on ESPN Plus with goal scorer Zach Robinson. Zach, trying to take us through that power play goal that you had in the first.
So Gifford kind of got the puck on the wing over there, took a shot. I noticed it was kind of trickling out, so I just poked at it in front of the net, went through the goalie's legs.
This first period for you guys hasn't gone according to plan. Obviously down on the scoreboard. Me and Chris up here in the booth were kind of seeing just some tired bodies a little bit. Guys just not jumping with energy. As a senior, what's something you could kind of tell the guys to get them going?
I mean, it's the last game this weekend. And if we don't come out of this weekend with 2 wins, it's going to be a disappointment. This is a weekend that we obviously wanted to win all 3, but we have to get going in these next 2 periods so that we can win 2.
But one thing we also noticed, the physicality's really picked up. We saw a lot of bad penalties being taken by Louisville because of it, generated your goal. We also saw some of your teammates kind of instigate some things as well. How important is it to keep your emotions in check for the rest of this game?
I mean, it's extremely important. All year we've harped on staying out of the box, and it hasn't really worked for us. So I think if we can do that against a team that's as physical as Louisville, we can get more power play opportunities and take back over this game.
One final question for you, Zach. Going into this second period, what do you think has to change offensively?
We gotta forecheck more. I mean, Louisville's defense have way too much time, and if we can get that under wraps and keep our defensive zone structure in check, then we can come back out from this period on top.
Well, down 3-1 on the scoreboard, but your goal is the reason why NC State is on the scoreboard. When we come back, me and Chris are going to break down what we saw in the first period.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons, hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese.
Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour, and guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
My name is Zach Herman. I'm the captain of the NC State Ice Pack, and I was born and raised in the Raleigh area. We are a self-funded program doing our best to represent our university and the local hockey community in Raleigh on a national level.
My name is Alex James, and I'm a senior assistant captain from Lake Norman, North Carolina. The group you're watching out on the ice is a family, and that family does its best to represent you and the rest of the NC State community as best we can each and every day. Some of my top memories from this program include playing in front of over 20,000 NC State fans at Carter Finley, playing in front of over 10,000 NC State fans at Lenovo Center every year, and getting to play in front of a packed house every Friday night at Invisalign Arena.
We welcome and appreciate all your support along the way. Go Pack!
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Chris Lehman and Nick Perazzi back with you here at Invisalign Arena after 20 minutes. It's Louisville 3, NC State 1. And Nick, as we take a look at that first period, a tough one for NC State. Like I said, it just feels like they're still kind of trying to wake up.
Yeah, they need the alarm to go off whenever it is. Get yelled at, loud music, something to wake them up. They've got to wake up in this game, I think, or else it's going to be a long day, especially with the physicality coming.
Yeah, and then if you look at the interview you just had with Robinson, that conversation, I caught a little bit of it, and the expectation coming into this weekend for NC State was 3 wins. Right now, they're on the wrong end of potentially a second loss right now, and so there's some work to be done. But one thing you can tell walking around up here, around the locker room, they are not happy with the way things have gone so far, and so I would expect a change in the second.
Yeah, whether it could be something on the lines, could be emotions. Zach Herman, first thing after the interview, came out and talked immediately to Zach Robinson, so there must have been something said in that locker room while we were having our interview. But overall, there's got to be changes. Robinson mentioned that forecheck. I think that's the biggest issue for them right now. Louisville just having as much time as they want to break out. It's setting them up offensively. Because they're able to break out, they're being able to set up deep into NC State zone, and they love to play behind the net.
Absolutely. Now, one of the highlights to me of the period for NC State is that second line. I think that new line combination has looked really good with Braden Strong slotting in with Holden Kaufman and Nick Shook. And you look at the game last night, obviously Bowling Green, not quite at the level of Louisville or UNH that NC State has seen this weekend. So you think maybe, does that translate for Braden Strong into a game against a higher quality opponent? And right now it feels like it has. That line has generated the most offense.
They definitely have most offensive zone time. I mentioned it before on those, I think, 2 or 3 straight icings Louisville had. I would have expected NC State to bring that second line out there with the first line out there, same amount of time as Louisville's 5 guys were out there, but they didn't. I think that was a big missed opportunity for NC State. That second line is delivered for them. I expect them to see a lot more ice time. One more other thing I expect to see, that fourth line led by Scott Daniel to start matching Louisville's first line, because once that happened, they started doing a better job at stopping that first line.
Yeah, and one thing we've highlighted, another thing that Zach Robinson actually talked about with you earlier was the physicality.
Yeah.
It's noticeable. And I only watched about 45 seconds to a minute and a half of Louisville the other night against Wilmington, and it was very evident. They love to go after the body. They love to make you think twice when you go to touch the puck. And as Zach mentioned, it's going to be important to stay disciplined, and they've done a relatively good job so far.
Yeah, they have. And on that line with Zach Robinson, Scott Daniel, and Scott Daniel's usually the one to be the most physical for NC State. He's that enforcer that the Ice Pack have. He always makes those big hits as a forward. Mm-hmm. So going into the second period, you got to calm everyone's emotions down. You look to Scott Daniel and might say, hey, they're getting some cheap shots in on us. Get some hits back on them. Not cheap shots, though. Don't take a bad penalty. But, don't be afraid to throw that body around. He's done a fantastic job defensively. I expect him to bring that body more. And overall, as a team, though, we saw Prasma kind of get a little frustrated after taking 2 big hits. The frustrations might spoil over.
Yeah, and for NC State, I think obviously dealing with the physicality, certainly something they can do is going to be important, but they're going to have to find a way to get to their game. They've got to get the puck deep. They've got to get in quickly and establish the forecheck, or else they're going to run into some trouble, and it's going to be difficult to make up the 2-goal deficit they're dealing with right now. We're getting set for the second period. We'll come back after this with Puck Drop. Louisville up 3-1 on NC State.
A little less than a minute until we get things going with period number 2. NC State trailing 3-1 at the moment, and with some work to be done, but still plenty of time. This is going to be kind of a make or break period for the Ice Pack when it comes to this weekend. They're going to have to make something happen, and I think a big thing is going to be getting back to their system, as I kind of talked about, Nick, with that last stand-up segment we had. It's going to be about getting back to the game, getting back to the forecheck, and that's kind of the message that was echoed to me. They come off of a game NC State does against Bowling Green where everyone can kind of be the hero. They can take risks, they can try and make pretty plays, but they can't do that here tonight. So the mentality's got to change. It can't be about taking it yourself. It's got to be about running the system.
Well, that's what was iterated to me in both of my player interviews Friday night against New Hampshire. Got to get pucks in deep. You know, it's a cliche, but you've got to get it done, and NC State's failed to do that today. And when they have, they don't have numbers. It's usually even strength, or Louisville's got the numbers advantage, which is pretty rare to see on a forecheck, and it's allowing Louisville to break out, sustain more ozone time, and then also be able to work behind the net because they're able to carry the puck all the way in deep. I think NC State's got to win the battle of the blue line, and that's going to tell the scoreboard the rest of this game, I think. Down 3-1, Louisville's dominated the blue line. They have more ozone time. They have 8 more shots on goal than NC State, a team that loves to let it rip. And we're going to have a delay here. Looks like the jerseys are going to be changed for Louisville. And just got that in from our producer, Alyssa, telling us Louisville's changing jerseys. So we're going to be on just a little delay. I think our director,
I wondered
Carl,
about
just
that
in
the first period when you see Louisville come out. And it's manageable. It obviously was manageable for the first period, but I mentioned it a couple times early on. It's those peripheral vision passes that I think make the biggest difference, where you see that fleeting bit of red, but as you astutely pointed out, with the different kind of hue and saturation of it, they weren't able to differentiate that peripherally. So I think it's going to be a good thing to have some different jerseys out there for the last 2 periods. You get a look there at the Stephen Russell Memorial Tournament banner, as well as the banner honoring the late NC State goaltender who inspired this tournament. But NC State is going to have some work to do as they continue to get these jerseys straightened out. We're going to throw it back to one of our videos that will talk a little bit more about the NC State goaltender and how this tournament was started.
And renaming the yearly tournament held every January as the Stephen Russell Memorial Tournament. But tonight's ceremony stands above these things. We come out here as coaches, as players, as family and friends and fans to give what many would consider the highest honor in sports, to have your number retired. In doing this, the NC State hockey team is saying that the number 20 will never again be worn by a member of this team, current or future.
Stephen passed away on July 4th, 2009. We were actually visiting my husband's parents in Kentucky, and we received the call, and we just left, and we started to drive. It was a 9-hour drive to Jordan Lake, North Carolina. I believe there are some things in life that we don't understand. I felt like Stephen was with us on that journey to the lake that night, and I like to think that he was. One of his friends, actually many of his friends after he passed, told me that he just had this way of knowing what people needed, and then he went to work giving it to them. He was just one of those people who was easy to get along with and people gravitated towards. I could think of no better way of grieving a boy as magnificent as him, but with gratitude. How could I not? He was a gift, so I had to say thank you.
There it is again, that Stephen Russell Memorial banner, the namesake of the tournament. Certainly a great person and a great teammate. and a big reason why NC State has set this tournament up. It's a great thing to have back. It's been about 5 years since NC State hosted, or 6 years rather, since they hosted this tournament, 5 years since the tournament was put on. And you get a look down at some of the fans who have made it out here today. This is going to be an interesting second period for NC State. As they have an extended break. We mentioned they're changing the jerseys for Louisville to kind of mitigate some of the confusion. But I think we're going to take another quick break while we wait for them to get things straightened out. We'll have the second period coming up here shortly.
Well, it's going to be the white jerseys for Louisville. They have them all on. They're skating back out. This delay is thankfully over, and the color matchup a lot better, Chris.
Yeah, and Louisville, as you mentioned, out in those white jerseys, I think this will certainly help a bit for these two teams. And one thing that I think will be an interesting aspect of this second period, particularly the beginning, is this extended delay. And I think it's different if they expected the delay. I think it's different when you're ready to go and then you have to wait. And I don't know if that was made very clear at the very beginning of the intermission or whether these two teams kind of had to adjust. But I think this extended delay could help NC State.
It could, but it also could get you out of that mindset. You could have been fired up, ready to go out and hit Louisville back in the face to start the second period, but then you had to wait. And you're waiting and waiting. You've got all this energy built up, and you're still waiting. And here's Louisville changing their jerseys, a little bit of gamesmanship to kind of take that momentum back, if you will. And now coming in with the long change as well. Herman going to go out and give Toyer a quick bump, give a good luck and let's go. And looks like we are all set to start period number 2. I expect NC State to work that forecheck a lot better, dump the puck in deep, while Louisville, I think, keep that ozone time and also keep working behind the net. If it ain't broke, don't fix.
NC State will go with Herman, Finch, and Prasma up front. Frosch and Gilmore, the birthday boy. And Keegan Gilmore out on the ice to start this second period. Ice pack control and send it deep. Quickly out in front. Backhand try, they score! 10 seconds in, it's a 1-goal hockey game. It's Prasma.
I'm just going to say I was wrong there, Chris. You're still fired up, and it's Daniel Prasma. It was so quick. Just took a bad bounce off the goal. Herman's flying there, and then, just miscommunication between Helinski and Beeman. They leave Prasma wide open in front of the net, and that's an easy one for Prasma to get. He's up to 9 goals on the year, 13 points for the freshman from Cary.
Oh, that's exactly the start that NC State needed to this period, and we talked about it. The attitude of this team at the intermission, they weren't happy with how they were playing. They knew they could be better, and they flipped the switch here, at least early on in the period, and this first line has done a great job of jump-starting NC State here in the second. Prasma, one-timer from the far side is wide. NC State will hold it in. Gilmore pitches it back down low. Sent to the middle, looking for Prasma, it's off the mark. Frosch trying to hold the zone, he's able to stall things out and get some help now from Kaufman. Holden Kaufman chases it down near corner. Looking to the middle, slides it there, can't connect with Finch. Louisville looking to break out, and they will. Down the near side, it's Andrew Murray. He'll break it in, leaves it for Carl, trying to sweep a pass back to the near side and fans on it. NC State can't clear though. Now Frosch. He'll find an open Kaufman far side, looking through the middle. Instead elects to throw it back behind the goal again. Strong to the side of the net. Shook out in front. It deflects back to the blue line. Shot from Sodden is blocked now. And NC State will have to back up here as it's taken out by Louisville and shot all the way down. No icing here. Wegler's first to it for NC State. Quickly taken away though by Jacob Zima. Swept around by Sodden. Here's Strong. Has some trouble clearing it out. Zima with the shot. Whistles it wide of the net. Picked up by Shredders and swept back around. Directed out in front. That pass deflected. NC State has it. It's Strong. Head manning for Shook. It'll be taken out of the play, though, by Carl Drew on that far side. Louisville kicks it forward. It's an Estes. Big hit there by Shook to knock his man off the puck. We talked about the physicality. These two teams continuing to play the body.
Yeah, these two lines specifically are going at it.
This is the line we mentioned that has been the strongest for NC State. Kaufman has gone off now, but Shook and Strong still out there. And those three forwards have been really good through the first period for NC State. Chopped out by Shook. This one's going to have a little bit too much gas on it. Well, they're going to wave off icing, though. 2.5 gone in the second. NC State with a hot start, down by 1. No icing here on the stretch pass. NC State trying to clear it up that far side, but not out. Clearance hits a man. I think at least a little bit shaken up there was Dylan Torres, who took it off the noggin. He'll head to the bench. Hopefully he'll shake it off and be okay. Johnson, backhand try, squeezed by the glove arm of Luke Brzezinski. It'll be a face-off in the offensive zone for NC State. 2 shots to none in the first 3 minutes in favor of the Ice Pack.
They're working on Torres' ear right now, the trainer for the Cardinals. He was able to make a hit and then quickly go back off. So good to see he was still able to play, and it seems like he'll be all right. Gets a double pat from the Louisville trainer.
Back behind the goal, Louisville in possession. Good pressure in that corner by NC State. Unable to gain control of it, though. It'll be broken out by McMullen. Or Malcolm, pardon me. Shot in from the far side, and it's gloved by Toyer as Jonathan Patch threw that one on goal.
Well, Louisville's going to get a chance here offensively. If they can win this draw, I believe they're going to set up their offense. It's going to be McDonough to take the draw. Now, this is still a pretty good line for Louisville. McDonough has got 7 points on the year. He's got a couple other guys with points as well out there.
Louisville continuing to control the draws. In the majority of cases, pop up in front of Toyer, and he'll just glove it and hold for the face-off.
Took a funky bounce right there to Toyer. Seen a lot of funky bounces, especially going the other way, where Brzezinski's in goal right now for the Cards. But they'll keep that same line out there. This time McDonough won't take the face-off. NC State will get a change, though.
Again, Louisville controls the draw. Helinski slides it down the wall. Back out towards the blue line. The pass by McDonough deflected. Shot coming from the point. Bowers doesn't get it through. NC State throws it back down. Well, after the first couple of shifts where NC State really had the extra step, things have settled back down again. Louisville in the O-zone once more. Helinski steps around a man, tied up nicely by Oliver and stripped. This one will be slid down the ice. No icing here, as the first one there is Jack Bowers to slap it around the wall. Loose puck collected by McDonough. He'll be dumped as he clears the zone and be called for a penalty. Will Daniel. It's going to be a cross-checking call and a power play for Louisville.
There goes your top defensive forward to the box for a cross-check. Mention it, Daniel, I think, can be a little more physical, kind of bring that physicality to this team, but he takes a cross-check, and he's not happy at all for it, but he's trying to fire up the boys, trying to get them on this penalty kill. 15:53, and this is a good opportunity for Louisville to go back up by 2.
I think he was on the tablet there with Coach Healy taking a look at it. The reaction tells me they're not so sure about it, but it will be a 2-minute power play for Louisville. They control off the draw. Here's the captain, Carl. Shoots it through traffic and wide. Collected on the far side by Nick Beeman. They'll trade places and leave it for Carl. here's Nardi, takes the shot through traffic. Toyer couldn't find it. It misses wide though. Nardi again. Left for Beeman. Again to Nardi. Throws it off the wall for Carl to pick up. Swept back up the wall. Nobody there in a white jersey. That gives Braden Strong the opportunity to clear it down the ice. NC State gets a much needed change on their penalty kill. 3 fresh bodies out there. The only tired set of legs is Gilmore. Kind of tough to make those changes in the second period when you have to go further to get to the bench. Louisville sets up again, top of the circle, wristed wide by Murray. It works its way back up the wall for Carl. His pass off the mark, and now Gilmore will shoot it down, and the final set of tired legs gets a change.
Yeah, really good job by PK1 for NC State. PK2 out there right now. Tate Sod and Emery Oliver. And they got Weglars as well as Aiden Brenner out there.
Nick Beeman with speed. Talked about him as the defenseman, really driving the rush. Big point getter for the Cardinals here early on in the season.
And if you're NC State, you got to take advantage of him going in deep.
30 seconds left on the man advantage. Here's Nardi down low. Sends it around the wall. McDonough will collect. With some help there from Patch. Played along the blue line. Shot coming. Wristed wide by Nardi. NC State still struggling to clear, down to 12 seconds of power play time. Shot from Bird is deflected wide. First one there now is Patch. He'll send it down low for McDonough. Through the middle and through the crease. Nobody gets a stick to it. That will finish off the power play, but Louisville still with pressure in the offensive zone. McDonough takes it off the wall. Left for John Patch. He'll step to the middle. Looking to hand it off. He's knocked down. NC State able to clear it out into neutral ice. And that will force Louisville to check up as the Ice Pack get a chance to break out.
A lot of dangerous opportunities in front of the net for Louisville. They just couldn't get a stick to the puck, though. And that what causes them that just great ozone time, but not a lot of shots on the board for it.
Louisville skates it out. Here's Helinski. He'll go to work on his number opposite in Weglars. Centering pass on and off the stick of a teammate. I believe that was McDonough who had a piece of it. NC State gets it back out into neutral ice. Austin Finch will lift it deep. 7 minutes gone in the second period. NC State with a goal in the first 10 seconds to cut it to a 1-goal game. It's been fairly even outside of the Louisville power play since then. It'll get stopped up behind the NC State net. Herman there along with McConaughey. NC State wins that battle, but a pinching Helinski will put pressure on Daniel Prasma, who skates away from it and breaks it out for Zach Herman. Herman into the zone. Just gliding down that right wing. 3 white jerseys there. He'll avoid all of them and find Prasma in the corner. Daniel Prasma with a goal already this period. Walking with it. Looking for some help in the slot. Instead, sent it to the blue line as McConaughey shoots it. And that one catches the glass behind. Now Prasma off the wall. That one's blocked and then cleared all the way down. This should be icing on Louisville, and they're going to have to keep the tired legs out on the ice here, and a chance here for NC State to take advantage.
You know, Neal's got to go back out there, as well as Anestis. And those are some tired bodies for Louisville. I feel like when that puck left the blue zone, that was a wasted opportunity for NC State. Louisville all out of sorts defensively. Shredders has to come back out as well for the Ville. But they're going to keep those guys out there. They're going to have a chance here on the offensive draw to set up and get that offense going again.
Off the draw, Ice Pack control, back to the blue line. Ricky Frosch will shoot it deep. Work back around to the near point, and it gets past Gilmore and all the way down. Since NC State shot it, no icing.
And Nestis was going to win that race anyways.
Yeah, smart play there by Toyer to come out for it. NC State still unable to push it out that far side. Gilmore now pitchforks it up the wall, backhanded back in by Beeman at the blue line. Into the middle, and Estes has trouble corralling. Now Gilmore goes one-on-one with Jake Shredders in the corner. Some help now coming from Jacob Zima of Louisville. NC State has some help as well. Kaufman takes the puck away. He'll skate it out down the right wing. Working in with Shook to the middle. Back across from Kaufman. And Strong not there on the back post. Louisville has a chance to advance. Zima tied up behind the net. That will allow NC State Strong to take it away. He pokes it up the wall and then gets taken down. Here's Weglars. Sweeps it back behind the goal for Sodden. He'll dust it off and then sauce one out of the zone. Bouncing puck to Nardi. Closing in on the halfway point of this contest. NC State with some good pushback here in the second period. Still need one more to get even. Johnson wraps his man up. Probably got away with a bit of a hold there, and play will continue as Strong collects for NC State. He'll step into the middle of the high slot. Has it knocked off his stick, but he needed to get off for a change anyhow. Behind the net. And we have a penalty coming here on Louisville. I believe, I didn't see the hit in its entirety. I think we're going to see a boarding penalty, though, or head contact on the call. Let's get a look here.
That's right behind the net. And going to get boarding.
There is an argument, I think, there for Louisville, as Johnson, you could argue, turned a little bit late, but it will be a penalty against number 4, Dalton Carl. NC State already 1-for-1 on the man advantage today.
Well, one thing too, NC State got away with too many men in the ice right there. They had possession of the puck with 6 guys out there. I believe Braden Strong was a little slow getting off, and someone might have been holding Kaufman a little too early getting on. And a prime opportunity for NC State to come back and tie this game up at 3 on the power play. They're 3 of their last 3.
And they've looked really good on the man advantage this weekend. Shook with the shot, hits a stick and doesn't get to the net. Bouncing puck, hacked at, but not cleared, at least on the first attempt. The second attempt from Patch will go the length of the ice.
NC State's going to break it out now. I'm going to expect Shook to dump this deep and go chase.
Shook brings it in, but NC State is offsides. And that will bring it back out on top of the Louisville blue line with 1:32 to go on the power play.
Yeah, and Shook was also just going to take it deep himself. They do have that second line. Just a mixed match, actually. Shook's playing defense. They got Kaufman, Reese Johnson, and then Prasma, so a little bit of a shakeup in the power play line. But I think this is a good-looking power play line for NC State. The chemistry in terms of time played together, however, might be a bit of a concern.
That's Thronson restarting behind the NC State goal. Shook goes rink wide. He finds Prasma into the zone. 1:14 left on the power play across, and the shot on and off the stick of Holden Kaufman. NC State with a good chance there. Still with pressure on the power play. Prasma quarterbacking. Spins it up top for Thronson. So it across now to Shook. He'll look things over before giving it back. Now to the near side. Johnson there, tied up in the corner, tries to kick it loose. It'll be cleared out, though, by the Louisville penalty kill.
A good penalty kill right now for Louisville. Problem is, though, minute 15 into it, haven't had fresh bodies out there in a minute.
Shook with some speed into the zone, throws it on goal. It'll be directed back to the near corner. Worked around by Scott Daniel. Another shot, pad save made. Brzezinski will swallow it up, and Louisville takes exception to that little poke from Daniel. As NC State down to 29 seconds on the man advantage.
Daniel's being out of that power play too, so there might have been some changes to that power play. It's very interesting to see. As Prasma tries a blast, Brzezinski does a good job there, and Daniel, the puck goes loose trying to get it. Helinski going to take exception. He doesn't like how his goalie's being treated there. Some extracurriculars, nothing though to put anybody in the box for.
NC State wins the draw. Still 25 seconds of power play time. Weglars will play it down the wall and receives it back. Kind of stuck there on the blue line. Good penalty killing here from Louisville. Herman sends it down low. Pass back to him is all the way out to the blue line for Weglars, who has it knocked off his stick by Andrew Murray and out of the zone.
Well, Andrew Murray's being active right now. Louisville was pinched in deep. NC State did the right thing, went to the top. Murray attacked.
Here's a chance. Shot and a save made by Brzezinski. He'll hold on. And a face-off coming with 8:27 to go in the period.
And power play over. Out of the box comes the captain, Dalton Carl, so that will be it for NC State's power play. They fail for the first time in 3 tries on the man advantage, but they generate a good bit of success. In terms of shots on goal, they're starting to catch up. They are winning this period 5-1 in the shots on goal category, and most of the play early on was on the left end of the ice. The right end of the ice has definitely picked up in the past 5 minutes.
Centering pass intended for Finch.
Oh.
He's going to be bodied up in the corner. That was a nice reverse hit. Finch a little bit more susceptible to something like that as Sodden takes down his man Murray, and a penalty coming up on NC State's defenseman. And just like that, back to the power play go the Cardinals.
That's going to be a tripping there on Tate Sodden. Maybe Murray sold it a little bit. It looked like Sodden had his stick tied up. We saw that a lot today, and that was a smart thing by Murray. We've seen a lot of tie-ups today. Just players getting sticks tangled up and sorts, and they'll just go down sometimes. They're going to get the call, and that's exactly what happened there. A smart play there by Murray to draw that penalty. And a power play for Louisville. They're 0 for 1 today on the man advantage.
Oliver will take the draw for NC State. Brenner, his winger. The two D pairings for the Pack are Thronson and McConaughey. NC State clears right off of the draw. That'll waste a little bit of time to start. But another important special teams moment here in this game. NC State needs to keep this a 1-goal game. Quick shot entering the zone for Robert Bird. It's out of play off the stick of a defenseman. And the face-off will stay in front of Isaac Toyer.
Well, there you go if you're Louisville. Win the draw and get it going. Malcolm's going to take the draw. They've got Bird out there, and I expect Alton Carl to come out there on that second power play line. So just generate some time for these first guys, and then get those second guys out there.
That angle shot from Patch ends up in the netting. And it'll be a face-off again in front of Toyer. 30 seconds bled off of the power play time so far for the Cardinals. Same unit out there on both sides. There's Louisville with the win, bouncing puck back to Helinski. He'll play it down the wall for Malcolm. Into the high slot, a sliding block made by Emory Oliver on the shot from McDonough. Zone kept, though, by the Cardinals' power play.
NC State being very active on this penalty kill, going to the puck.
Shot on goal, pad save made there by Toyer, and I think we're going to see a 4-on-4 here as Patch collides with NC State's Isaac Toyer. Pardon me, this will actually, I think, just move the face-off out of the zone because of that contact. No penalty, but the face-off does come out of the zone. As you see there, Toyer colliding with Patch.
Yeah, and Kate McConaughey might have gave him a little bit of a push, and that's exactly what Patch is questioning there. McDonough is too. We've got a discussion in front of the Louisville bench right now about why the play was stopped and moved out to center ice. Not a good lip reader. Don't know what the ref's saying, but
I think it either has something to do with what they're saying on the bench, or it has to do. There have been some players that are kind of, hanging over the side a bit.
Yeah,
and kind of in play.
McDonough's knee is just about a foot off the bench right now, the way he's propped up there.
So I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure it was necessarily about the explanation of why the puck came out of the zone, but there was something that the officials wanted to straighten out over at that Louisville bench. Here's Carl. He'll circle the zone with it. 45 seconds left of power play time now for Louisville. Nadry sends it back behind the goal. Or Nardi, pardon me. One-timer from Carl, patted away by Toyer. Back to Carl. He'll send it down low, bouncing puck behind the net, settled down by Andrew Murray. Up top again, Nardi. Swept to the middle by Carl. Chip shot into Toyer, and he'll find the rebound to cover.
Well, Toyer didn't see that at first, and Carl kind of just had it chip off his stick a little bit. Excuse me. And that was a prime opportunity there for Louisville. It took a fortunate bounce from him, had puck luck, had a guy right in the slot, right in the middle, but Toyer didn't really see that all the way. Just in the right place at the right time, and you can't see it. That's all you hope for.
NC State has done a pretty good job on this penalty kill. Louisville has had a lot of zone time, though. Here's Drew. Deflects a shot off of Gilmore and wide. Behind the net, it's Murray. Turning with it, pressure from Gilmore. Puck squirts loose to the far corner. Trying to pitch it out, unable to do so is Shook. He'll go 1-on-2 with a pair of Louisville players. That is won by Beeman. Back to the point. Shot ends up behind the goal as Strong is out on the ice with Sodden coming out of the box. We're playing 5-on-5 hockey. Shot through traffic, seen nicely by Toyer. He'll get the whistle as there's some extracurriculars after the play.
Yeah, right in the middle, Andrew Murray, and he's just gesturing there. He's got to be careful with those gestures. And there's still some talk going on. Nick Shook barking over to that Louisville bench. So these teams are starting to pick up in the verbal physicality department.
Off the draw, Louisville wins it, poked away by Shook, but the Ice Pack can't control. Around the far side, it's chipped up the wall by Strong, but held in by a pinching Bowers. With some help there, Whitaker Proctor holds the zone. In the corner, Proctor slides it down the goal line, and it'll be stopped up there by Toyer. He got a couple of extra jams there, and NC State taking exception to that.
And I think someone lost their helmet there. It might be Ricky Frosch. A stick just went flying. Losing his helmet, excuse me, is Keegan Gilmore. And Shook still going at it with, I believe, Cooper O'Neill.
And this is where if you're NC State, you got to be a little bit careful.
Yep, you got to keep your calm. See if we have anybody going to the box here. We're going to get a good look at it on the replay.
There's Proctor moving it down the wall, and some of it, I think, after the play is kind of gamesmanship. NC State
Right there,
just poked
Proctor
away a little bit, so Proctor goes and gives it back, and of course, nobody likes their goaltender getting a couple extra licks.
We saw it on the other end too, when NC State got a little too close with Scott Daniel. First line out there now for NC State.
It'll be Prasma to take the draw against Shredders. NC State can't clear off that faceoff. Helinski goes D to D for Bowers. Played down low, nice hit there from Prasma behind the goal. Cardinals still in possession. Helinski top of the near circle. Slides it down behind the goal. Chipped along by the NC State defense. That's Wegler's trying to push it out. Bouncing puck in the corner, settled by Louisville. Shot coming from an Estes, and he doesn't get all of it. Loose puck now picked up by Prasma. He plays it off the glass and out to the red line. Sodden stepping up, trying to push it forward, but it'll be cleared in by Helinski with 5 minutes left in this second period. Still 3-2. We talked about the point system in this tournament. You do get points for winning periods. Right now, NC State leads the period 1-0. Johnson plays it through the middle, off a body, and it's cleared out by the defense of the Cardinals. NC State going to get called for a high stick here, though, as Weglars got up high with the twig on Jacob Zima.
Zima went down a little late, and the ref was hesitant until Zima went down. It was a high stick, though. It is the right call. It's going to be a 2-minute minor, and Tim Healy's not happy at all with the call. And it's going to go against Weglars. And Louisville, fourth time on the power play. They're 0 for 3, so they're about due on this power play. They've carried the play the last 5 minutes of this game since they were able to kill their penalty. Good opportunity for Louisville to build back on that lead.
Tied up along the wall off the draw. Louisville comes away with it. Here's Carl. Shoots it right into the glove of Toyer. Another face-off coming.
Toyer's activity has definitely picked up here. 6 shots now for Louisville in the period. They had 13 the first, but I'll tell you what, Louisville has not had as many high-quality opportunities or shots that they had in that first period. NC State's adjusted nicely. Louisville's going to have to make an adjustment, and they're going to have to do it coming from their own end on this power play.
So NC State gets the clear. About 30 seconds gone on the power play for the Cardinals. Here's Beeman, bodied up there by Brenner, and whistle. I believe this one will come out of the zone. And face off on top of the NC State blue line. That was a good hit there.
That was, and Beeman, that's not what you want to do going in, going down against the boards, lowering yourself, and taking a hit. He's not the biggest guy out there by far. Him and Austin Finch both aren't. Those were the two involved. You got to be careful there. Going down low, taking that hit right up against the boards. You don't want to get crunched, and you can get hurt really easily like that.
Louisville wins. They'll set up in the offensive zone off the draw. Back behind the goal, Murray will collect. 1:12 left on the power play. Up top now, it's Nardi. Back to Carl. It's poked off his stick. He'll retrieve on the near half wall. Back up for Nardi. Slid along to Beeman. Thrown in front. Rebound was there, and it was cleared away. Good chance there for Louisville. Perhaps their best on the power play here. They continue to work. Murray carries behind the goal. Sweeps it back up top. Touched along to Nardi by Beeman. Across for Carl. Not sure if he got all of that or if it was blocked by Thronson. Either way, NC State keeps it out. Down to 30 seconds of power play time. Still behind the goal. Murray looking out in front. Shot coming from Beeman, and he elevates it over the net. Now Carl. Down low again. Murray will work behind the goal. Up to the top of the circle now. Backing out with it. Carl Drew sends it low. 14 seconds left of power play time. Back up for Nardi. Played down low. Murray's pass to Carl is tied up, and NC State's pinch clears it down. That will kill the penalty. Louisville now 0 for 4 on the man advantage.
They're going to come right back the other way. Brzezinski, though, got to be, they're going to get an offsides. Brzezinski, though, ooh, that was not the best puck control there. It went behind him. He's fortunate that he hit enough of that puck to stop it. Otherwise, that would have been an own goal. And Louisville was able to move the puck really well. Watch them just go around. They go around town, and yeah, just couldn't line it up with Carl. And a good job by NC State. Don't know exactly who that was blocking that shot, but they stay home with their man. Rotation was an issue early on for the Ice Pack this season. They've definitely made great changes to that. The penalty kill killed off all 4 Louisville power plays tonight.
NC State, nice little touch pass from Johnson, finds Herman. He'll power in, slides it to the middle, still there in the slot, and it's deflected up and over. Good chance, point blank for Prasma, but Louisville strong in front of their own goal.
Yeah, and NC State needed that. They needed to get something generated on offense. Last seems like 6 minutes, they haven't been able to generate anything. You're going to get an ozone draw with line number 1, Herman taking it. You've got to take advantage of this.
Herman wins the draw. Prasma steps to the middle, takes the shot. Fought off there by Brzezinski. NC State retrieves in the corner. Herman sweeps it out towards the blue line, and Gilmore was just a little off the mark there. It'll be all the way down. NC State resets. Prasma off the wall. Clears it out to the Louisville blue line. Jack Bowers in control. Pushed along for Malcolm. He'll step past Prasma, bodied up by Herman before he loses the puck. Now Prasma sends it down the ice. And it's lifted down to the NC State end. Malcolm after it for the Cardinals. His centering pass stolen. Prasma will push it forward to Herman down that left wing. Looking to the middle, floats it there, and Prasma will track it down near side. Back out to the high slot. Sawden's shot rainbowed over top of the net. Collected by Johnson. Pass out to the blue line, intercepted by John Patch, and he clears the zone. NC State trying to keep the pressure on enough to prevent a Louisville change. Not sure they'll be able to do it now, though. Shot from Malcolm, blocked up by the defense of Weglars, and NC State clears it down. This one is going to be right on goal, so no icing. Cleared back out by Brzezinski, but right to Emery Oliver, who shoots it in from the blue line. Hard forecheck in for Daniel as you get a look up close in that corner. 1 minute left in the second. NC State trying to find one final push. Shot there from Sawden, held on to by the glove of Brzezinski, and an ozone faceoff coming.
Well, NC State had 5 shots in the first 12 minutes of this period. They were out shooting Louisville by a lot, but 3 since then. Brzezinski, like we mentioned before, he's a hard goalie to get one past him, to get the biscuit in the basket. And right now, I think these shot opportunities for NC State, they have a formula. It's get the puck in front, get some traffic, and create chaos. And they're just not able to do that right now.
Daniel tried to win it forward there, couldn't do so. Thronson holds the blue line and sends it around the wall. Chopped up the boards. McConaughey unable to hold the blue line. And now Louisville pushes it out down the near side. Turned right back by Oliver, who couldn't maintain control. Down to 35 seconds left in the period as Thronson plays it forward for Oliver to deflect along. Cardinals cleared back up again off a linesman, and it directs right to Jacob Zima. He finds Nardi into the zone, shoots it right off of McConaughey. Zima holds the line. Played around the wall, Shredder's first to it. Skips out into the neutral zone where Beeman can lift it across. Nardi throws it deep. Bronson in there battling with Anestis back behind the goal. Some help from Shredders. Louisville in control. Beeman with 1 second to go. Can't get it to the net. And NC State will win the period 1-0, but they still trail 3-2. I will say though, Nick, I think that was a much better period, almost night and day for NC State.
Yeah, it was, and that's big for NC State to win the period. Of course, in the tournament, you need the points. You get points for winning each period, so both teams have won a period tonight. 10 seconds in, you get that goal, but after that, just a couple of just penalties. The cross-check from Daniel, and then the interference, and then high stick, and that's 6 minutes of the period gone because of penalties pretty much, and otherwise, especially after the back-to-back penalties NC State took around the 8-minute mark, that's where things started getting a little more momentum shift towards Louisville.
Well, the Zamboni back out on the ice again. NC State cut the lead for Louisville in half. They'll need at least one more in the third period in order to even things up, but they'll take the momentum into the break. 3-2 Louisville. We'll be back with the second intermission.
After two periods, it is a 3-2 lead for the Louisville Cardinals. Chris Lehman back alongside assistant coach Alex Fong of NC State. And Alex, as we take a look at period number 2, to me, night and day for you guys. You're able to get things going, obviously win the shot battle this period, a lot more shots as well, and of course you get the goal.
Yeah, credit to the guys, credit especially to our captain, Zach Herman. Got him ready between the periods. Pretty unacceptable start from us. but he really led the charge there by getting him ready to go out in the second, and it showed. His line scored the first goal in the second.
Yeah, they get out very, very quick start. The other thing that has been noticeable in this game is the physicality. There's nothing overly excessive, but everybody's ready to take the body. How does that impact the way this game has panned out?
We love it. I mean, that's what gets us going. So as long as we're being smart about it, keeping our hands down, we love it.
And now as we turn to period number 3, bit of an abbreviated period, and obviously trying to get everyone out as quickly as possible with travel, but does that play any kind of effect? And what do you want to see in order for this Ice Pack team to get back even and then ahead?
No more penalties. Keep it clean. Be smart, be disciplined, get the feet moving. That's about it.
All right, short and sweet. NC State has one more period to even things up. They trail Louisville 3-2.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens. Or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons, hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese. Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
My name is Zach Herman. I'm the captain of the NC State Ice Pack, and I was born and raised in the Raleigh area. We are a self-funded program doing our best to represent our university and the local hockey community in Raleigh on a national level.
My name is Alex James, and I'm a senior assistant captain from Lake Norman, North Carolina. The group you're watching out on the ice is a family, and that family does its best to represent you and the rest of the NC State community as best we can each and every day. Some of my top memories from this program include playing in front of over 20,000 NC State fans at Carter Finley, playing in front of over 10,000 NC State fans at Lenovo Center every year, and getting to play in front of a packed house every Friday night at Invisalign Arena.
We welcome and appreciate all your support along the way. Go Pack!
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Chris Lehman and Nick Perazzi back with you here at Invisalign Arena. 20 minutes left for NC State, trailing Louisville 3-2. And Nick, as I talked with Alex Fong, NC State much, much better period, and a lot of credit going to the captain and the leadership.
Yeah, and like I said, when I finished my interview last period with Zach Robinson, first thing, Zach Herman was right there to talk to him, just waiting outside the little balcony that we have these stand-ups on, which is really cool to see. The leadership that he had, the players meeting yesterday as well. Zach Herman's really took control of this team in terms of leadership, and he's proven it, and it's shown on the ice.
Well, and importantly here for NC State, 3 games in 3 days. You're running on empty almost now. It's going to be about the start to me in this third period.
It's how much gas do you have left in the tank? It's the last game of the weekend, like Zach Robinson said. You get Monday through Thursday off in terms of game time before back-to-back against Penn State. Leave it all on the ice, I think, is going to be the message for the Pack.
Well, the ice is clean. We've got 20 minutes to go. NC State down 1, but they've got the momentum as we head to the third.
You see there, both teams heading back out onto the ice. We've got 20 minutes left to settle things. Chris Lehman and Nick Perazzi with you as Louisville and NC State head back out onto the rink. 3-2 lead for the visitors, Nick.
Yep, and this period's going to be all about the war of attrition. Who's got more energy left in the tank? Who's going to want this game more? Both teams are 1-1 this weekend. They're 1-1 in this game in terms of period wins. It's all going to come down to this third. You want to win the period and win the game. NC State struggled in third periods this season, Chris. They've been outscored, I believe, 4-2 the last 3 games in the third period. Not last night, but the previous 2 before that lost the game to New Hampshire and North Carolina because of their third period performance. They struggled against Alabama and Rider the previous week in the third period as well. NC State's got to show that they are a 60-minute hockey team, and this is the biggest test they have this season. Zach Robinson said if you come out of here and you only win 1 game, it's a disappointment of a weekend. That message has to ring through every player's heads on both sides. That will be a disappointment of a weekend if you come out of here with just 1 win in this third period.
Oh, and you look at who's starting this third period. It's the line that scored 10 seconds into the second. And it's the captain, Zach Herman, at center. He's been the catalyst. He is the heart and soul of this team. As his energy goes, so does the team's. And he has been fantastic at leading this team back in this game and helping them bounce back in the second. See what they can do in the third as Herman wins the faceoff. Frosch will shoot it in. Herman first there. Swept it off the side of the goal. Picked up now by McDonough. He'll backhand it around for Noah Malcolm. Chipped up the wall, and now it'll be chased down by number 23, Jonathan Patch of Louisville. He's upended. It'll be covered up by NC State's Toyer. And we'll get a face-off in front of the NC State bench here with 19:37 to go.
Kind of a heave of a backhand wraparound there from Patch. And NC State just failed to capitalize, maintain possession of the puck on their offensive end. Good look at the puck drop here. And Louisville's going to try to do the same except capitalize, but they can't maintain possession.
Lifted out by NC State's Prasma, sent right back the other way and all the way down. This will be icing as Helinski had a little bit too much juice on that clearance.
Big chance for NC State. No line changes yet for Louisville. NC State's going to roll out with that hot line 2 with Kaufman, Strong, and Shook. And this is a great opportunity for NC State if they can win the draw. Kaufman's going to take it against Noah Malcolm.
One cleanly over to Shook. He'll play it up to McConaughey at the blue line, who gives it back, chipped down the wall, and Louisville takes it away. Gets stuck up around the blue line, slapped along now, and Noah Malcolm takes control. Shook will ride him into the boards behind the goal. Great job by the NC State winger, and they'll go back and forth behind the play. And we continue as Helinski moves it forward. He'll shoot it in on Toyer, blockers it to the corner. Chopped up the wall. Right there is Robert Bird, who's pinned to the boards. Knocked off his stick, but right to Nardi. And shot directed away by Toyer. Loose puck picked up by Kaufman. Forward for Shook. NC State needs a line change, though. And so Shook will head off. Weglers now for NC State. Has Johnson swept across to Kaufman. He'll step in. Plays it down low and then chases after it. Kaufman first there. Backhands it around the wall. Bounces away from Reese Johnson, though. And Robert Bird carrying it out has it poked loose. Collected now by Carl. He'll step into the offensive zone before it's poked away. NC State has the loose puck. Tate Sodden trying to walk into the zone. Has it knocked away, though, by Shredders. And they'll fight for it right in front of the penalty box area there. Weglers to Johnson. He'll be knocked off the puck there by Anestis, and it's taken by Dalton Carl. He'll butt hook in the corner. Spins one to the middle, popped up in the air, and NC State looking to force it out through the middle of the ice. Here's Gifford moving in. Pushes it along for Johnson, and they're offsides.
NC State just can't get set up in the offensive zone right now to start this period. They've had time of possession. They're just not getting set up. Can't get the offense going. Just not really spaced out as much either. And when they do get the puck, it's a quick takeaway because not everyone's spaced out. So right now, just the little things offensively for NC State. As for Louisville, I think NC State's defense, though, has been the bigger story over there as that one goes to the bench. Louisville's getting into the zone, but those passing lanes are not there. They're being able to get spaced out, but NC State has read their offense. It's the reason why Louisville hasn't scored a goal since the first period so far. It's because I think NC State's read their offense and has picked up on those passing lanes.
Center ice draw after that one went out of play. Daniel tied up there along with Zima. Puck is loose. Glove down by Drew. And it'll be advanced by the Cardinals. And Estes into the zone. Shot hits a body and deflects back behind the goal. Hacked at by Robinson, but he can't get a touch to it. Now Beeman plays it down low. Shot from the goal line, bodied away there by Toyer. Loose puck in the slot. Knocked over to the near side, and NC State will pin it there. Daniel will just play it down the ice, and it has just enough for an icing call.
NC State's got to keep those bodies out there, of course. Be kind of a mix of that third and fourth line with Oliver Robinson, but then leave Reese Johnson, the lone non-fourth liner out there.
Shot off the face-off, misses wide of the near post, and now we've got a whistle as the puck, I believe, hit somebody along the bench.
And went up into the netting too, and a big opportunity for NC State as O'Neal broke his stick actually there.
I don't think I've ever seen a stick break on the blade quite the way that one did.
Just snapped in half. I mean, a clean snap too.
Herman on the draw now for NC State up against Whitaker Proctor of Louisville. NC State captain wins the face-off. Finch will lift it out of the zone. Helinski tied up with the linesman at his own blue line, has no choice under pressure but to clear it down, and there's no icing. Now Herman moves it into the middle, back to Prasma, shoots, he scores! Daniel Prasma again, and it's 3-3.
It's a Prasma blast from Daniel Prasma. I mean, he just snipes it home and ties this game up at 3. NC State down 2-0, down 3-1. And right here, Herman makes a beautiful pass, double team. They leave Prasma alone. You can't do that. There's a reason why he had the second goal of this game. There's a reason why he's got the third goal of this game for the Ice Pack, up to 10 on the season. The freshman out of Cary is having himself an afternoon.
Oh, he's picked up the last 2 for NC State, and it's a 3-3 hockey game. Great battle back here from the Ice Pack after a really rocky first period.
And they've played better defensively. I think that's a big story that we really haven't covered. Their defense has improved a lot since that first period.
Yeah, and you look at just the way this game has gone. It's impressive how they've kind of been able to flip a switch after the first period. They got outshot 13-5 in the first. They've played level in terms of shots with Louisville since then, both teams with 9. And of course, NC State outscoring Louisville 2-0 over the last 2+ or really period and 4 minutes, so about 24 minutes of play.
That speaks a lot about the leadership, Herman and the coaching staff, especially after that first period with what Herman called for his team, as well as Tim Healy, what he said in that locker room during that first intermission.
Here's Nick Shook at his own blue line. Has it knocked loose, collected by Ethan McDonough, who plays it around the wall. Set up for Kaufman, played along to Frosch, and then Kaufman again clears it out. Steered back to the far side for Beeman as Louisville looks to advance. Now Patch chips it in, tracks it down, throws it to the middle, and couldn't connect with a Cardinal headed to the back post. Louisville keeps the zone though. Shot coming. There's a tie up in front, and we've got a whistle. I think they're going to take both players in front of the net. It's McDonough for Louisville, and looks like Cade McConaughey of NC State.
Didn't really see what happened there. It's going to be 4-on-4. Maybe be able to see in this replay. They're trying to battle in front. As McDonough took exception to something. I don't really know what McConaughey did there to kind of get that penalty.
Well, it's a position for the officials where you kind of you have to take both as a warning here, because it was obviously play away from the puck. and so you want to try and keep things settled down. The officials overall have done a pretty good job of that here today.
McConaughey must have done something to initiate that, because McDonough just went straight there. To me, at first, I thought it was for positioning right in front of the net, but it didn't look like that from the way McDonough moved there. So there must have been something going on. There must have been a retaliation from McDonough. In the end, he kind of wins it and makes it 4-on-4 instead of a power play for the Ice Pack.
I think that space might favor NC State. Herman and Prasma combined on the last goal. Here they go again. Herman carries it behind the goal, trying to leave it off there for Prasma and can't. But good forecheck here from the NC State captain.
Herman's got a lot more energy than 3 white jerseys out there right now. He is moving and grooving to the puck.
Stepping up ice now, though, is Josh Nardi. Right in on Toyer with the dump in. Now in the corner, they'll fight for it. Pops loose where NC State can control in the middle. Sodden pushes it along now for Prasma. Sodden coming with him. Prasma fires it high. Good chance there for NC State. Still a little over a minute of 4-on-4 hockey. 14.5 minutes to go in this game. Nothing decided yet. It's 3-3. Long shot in on Toyer. He'll get the glove to it and melt it down. Polinsky coming in. Sprays a little bit, and NC State gonna make sure he knows not to do that again.
I've seen that 2 or 3 times today after the play, trying to protect your goaltender from both teams. But 14:26 to go, got a minute 2 on this 4-on-4. And NC State's got a lot of speed, but this line for Louisville right now I think's a little bit better. Beeman being the D-man, they've got Bird out there as well, and as I believe Noah Malcolm.
Louisville controls the draw. Beeman slides it down low. It's returned to him by Robert Bird. They'll play catch over on that far side. Beeman again shoots the short angle and scores. Second of the game for Beeman. And NC State back down by 1.
Well, I just said, this is a good look for Louisville with Beeman out there on 4-on-4. NC State has speed, but with Beeman out there, as well as Bird, they're dangerous. They have points tonight, and the second goal of the game for Nick Beeman, the junior from Traverse City, Michigan. He's up to 7 on the year, 12 points as a defenseman, and this is just a good snipe. They just go right back, and he's able to bang it home, and that's where that extra space comes in. If there's a 5th guy out there, Beeman probably doesn't fill that gap in and have enough space to get that rebound and shoot it home.
Back to center ice. Johnson on the faceoff. Shredders wins it for Louisville, but it's Gifford winning the battle on the near wall. In the corner, they'll fight for it. Johnson has it. He goes short side, sealed off by Brzezinski. The clearance glove down by Thronson, but he's unable to keep it inside the offensive zone.
Still have 30 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey here, though. A lot of time for a lot of things to change.
Gifford lost control. Clearance held in by Weglers. His shot fought off by the blocker of Brzezinski. And now Louisville will slap it up and out, finding an open teammate in Bird. He'll walk in. Stopped by Toyer. It looked like it might have caught the post on the way by as well.
Bird might have got away with a hold there on Weglars. He was holding that stick a little bit too long there, especially with the puck in the area. Big stop though for Toyer.
Here's Johnson weaving in for NC State. Forced back behind the goal where he'll button hook with it. Knocked off the puck. Gifford there to help out. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey now, and some speed for McDonough moving through the neutral zone. He'll cut to the near side, leaves it top of the circle. Shot there coming from Patch. Blocker save made by Toyer. Louisville back in control. Centering pass though intercepted. Now NC State takes it back. Here's Thomas McEnany. Stops up at the blue line, finds an open Gilmore. Shot blocked by Brzezinski, and Gilmore will play it back behind the goal. Therefore, at McEnany, slid to the middle. He's got Daniel, pushes it into the slot, can't get back to it, and Louisville loops it out of the zone. Daniel first to the loose puck, breaking in. He's going to be tripped up. Easy call. NC State going to go to the power play here. Great hustle by Daniel. Not sure there was much of a chance to score, but he creates the power play.
There wasn't. I think he generated a scoring chance there. They just go to him on the wing. They chip it to him. He goes in deep. Look at this hustle, and then just having to make a diving stop there and going to the box for 2 minutes is going to be Jack Bowers. And this is a big opportunity for NC State to have a chance to tie this game once again. They were down, they were counted out in that first period, down 3-1. They came back, tied it, and then immediately gave up a goal just a little bit later, 2 minutes later, almost exactly, to go back down 4-3. Big opportunity for the Ice Pack, though, with this red-hot power play to tie the game back up at 4.
They're 1 of 2 tonight, or today rather, against Louisville. They'll set up off the face-off. Nick Shook up at the blue line. Across for Thronson. Played down for Prasma into the middle. It's off the stick of Johnson and out of the zone. Hustling after it is Jake Shredders. He'll put pressure on Thronson.
Oh, that's great hustle there by Shredders, and look who's there. It's Bird right in the middle to disrupt that.
NC State with an odd man rush, though, if they move quickly. Prasma fires away, hits a diving Helinski who blocks the shot, and Louisville sends it the length of the ice with 1:25 to go on the power play.
Well, NC State loves to whip that puck around on the power play, but Louisville just making them have to make hard passes, which is making it a little difficult on NC State to find those one-timer shots.
1:10 on the power play now. Thronson walking it up. Sets it there for Prasma. He has space through the middle. Swept out wide for Johnson. Now Shook under some pressure there, able to get it deep for Kaufman. Kaufman steps behind the goal. He finds Prasma whipped in front off the stick of Brzezinski and out to the blue line. Shook holds the zone. Prasma again for Thronson. Through traffic, shot is blocked. Shook will step into one. That one also gets blocked. Excellent play there from Josh Nardi. NC State still putting pressure on with the man advantage. Shook trying to hold the zone. Bouncing puck just inside the blue line, and the first one to it is Zima, who clears it out for the Cardinals.
And they're going to get a fresh 4 out there. What a penalty kill from that line for Louisville. Just blocking shots left and right, sacrificing the body to keep this a 1-goal advantage so far.
Gifford glides into the offensive zone. His pass deflects off a skate and back out to neutral ice. This is going to finish off the NC State power play as they're forced to retreat back into their own end.
And look at the forecheck from Louisville on the penalty kill.
Here's Robinson trying to turn it to the middle, couldn't quite do so, and now coming out of the box, Whitaker Proctor will take over. Shoots, pad save made. Proctor had come in after Bowers went back to the bench. And Louisville on the attack, centering pass, deflected away there by NC State's Gifford. Louisville still in control though. Shot coming from Proctor, hits a stick and deflects behind the goal. They'll fight for it along the near corner. Cleared to the far side, NC State gets it out. And now the puck's in all the way down. Icing is the call on Louisville.
NC State needs that energy back. They need that mojo back after they tied the game. Beeman just kind of took a lot of life out of this arena with the go-ahead goal to make it 4-3. You still got 9:48, just under half the period left to go. Forwards talking about a potential play. Oliver's going to relay the message to McConaughey.
And we did get a penalty.
Oh.
It looked like O'Neal was going to get away with it. They're going to call him for a slash. It was a soft one, but he gave a hack well after that kind of confrontation in the NC State zone had happened.
And now here comes the power play group for NC State. Wow. And we saw Louisville in the first period give up their first goal. O'Neal is just confused what he did, why that's a call.
I think the timing of the way it happened is what he's most upset about. But
yeah, nearly.
You got to be careful. It's the retaliation. We talk about it plenty. It doesn't matter what team it is. If you make the second go of it, you're almost guaranteed to be the one that gets called.
Yeah.
And so NC State, an important power play. 0 for their last 2 here today, but they did score in the first period on the man advantage. They had a pretty solid power play last time around. Not a whole lot of shots, but they did do a good job of moving and establishing the zone. Shot from Shook. Rebound loose there. Poked at by Prasma, and it pops up high. Back behind the goal, Kaufman. He'll sweep it around the wall for Shook. Played back down low. Kaufman will get to it first. Back up the wall once more. Shook will pinch in. Gets a skate to it to hold the zone, but a bouncing clearance gets past Thronson, and NC State resets 30 seconds into the man advantage.
Good D behind the net from Beeman. Saves Prasma from getting a hat trick.
Into the zone, Kaufman finds Prasma. Forced into that far corner. He'll button hook with it. Drops it off for Thronson. D to D with Shook. Fired away, and a glove save made there by Brzezinski. He's been seeing the puck well here.
And that's a quick shot by Nick Shook. Definitely a lot of mustard there on it, but Brzezinski, not a lot of traffic in front, able to glove that one down, make the save. Now, minute 18 left on this power play. NC State hasn't converted on the last two after converting the first one. They've had one each period. This first period with multiple. Self-inflicted wounds, though, is what's cost Louisville tonight.
Face-off won by NC State, but it's out of the zone. They'll have to regroup again. Rink-wide pass for Johnson. He'll step into the zone. Drops it there at the blue line for Shook. Across to Thronson. Down low, he's got Prasma walking the line. Daniel Prasma reverses it, he scores! Oh, what a play by Prasma! A hat trick for the freshman, and we're tied up again at 4.
Back-to-back nights where a freshman has a hat trick. This time it's Prasma, and this is a set play. Thronson's coming in late. Prasma's going behind, and then right there, stops on a dime. Brzezinski just couldn't get there in time, and Prasma stuffs it home, putting the Ice Pack offense on his back. A power play goal. Self-inflicted wounds cost Louisville 2 goals now in this game, and it's a tie game at 4 with 8:46. A fantastic goal from Daniel Prasma for the Hattie.
One thing assistant coach Alex Fung mentioned in the intermission, discipline this period. NC State does have one penalty, but it was a matching minor for Cade McConaughey as the shot swallowed up by Toyer. They've had 2 power plays this period as NC State, and obviously one of them found the back of the net. It's the reason we're tied now. So special teams certainly playing a big role as NC State 2 for 4 on the power play. Louisville 0 for 4.
We called it out in the first period. This game goes on, you got to control your emotions, and Louisville has not been able to do that. That was just a really bad penalty by O'Neal. He's furious that he got called for it, but he got away with a slash. He thought he was going to get away with it.
Quick shot off the draw, doesn't get through to the net. Weglar stapled to the boards over on the far side, but NC State still controls. Lifted to Gifford on the near side. He'll move it forward. As he gains the blue line, he cuts towards the inside and leaves it for Robinson. Played back to Gifford off his skate. It'll be chipped back to the blue line. Weglars quickly across to Sodden. NC State trying to keep the pressure on after evening things up. Gifford hacks it down low. Nobody there in a red jersey. Helinski lifts it out. Sodden steps up, gets a glove to it, knocked down, and now a hand pass called on NC State. And we'll see if this changes. The linesman over on the far side had waved it off. I thought it had gotten touched, but the official in the orange armbands makes the call. And this faceoff is going to go, I think, in the NC State end as a result.
Good opportunity for Louisville to suck the life back out of this arena here.
8 minutes to go. Tie game, important face-off in the NC State end. It'll be Scott Daniel on the draw for the Ice Pack. They'll scrum right there on the face-off dot. Squirts loose to Beeman, thrown at the net. Toyer finds it, gets a blocker to it. Weglars blows a tire. That'll leave it there for Louisville to collect. Nice back check from Brenner as he quickly takes it away. Now Weglars behind the net. 7:40 to go in this one. Tie game right now. NC State outscoring Louisville 3-1 since the first period where they trailed 3-1. Daniel takes it off the wall. He'll just sweep it deep and go off for a change. Pinching in for the Ice Pack on the far side. Brenner trying to keep the pressure on. Oliver there as well on the forecheck. Louisville able to escape that pressure. It'll be Jake Shredders over to the near side. Lost the handle though. Oliver keeps it in the zone. Stepping in, Prasma has his stick lifted nicely by Zima. And Louisville clears it back to the NC State side. Rink wide pass. Hits the stick of Herman. He'll chase it down behind the goal. NC State captain bodied up there by Murray. Sent out in front. Loose there on top of the crease. Prasma almost had another. Ricky Frosch forcing it down low. He's got Prasma there to help. Played to the slot. No red jerseys there. Louisville moves it out. Here's Patch with some speed in transition. Throws it right into the glove of Toyer. And he'll squeeze it. We'll get a face-off in the NC State zone.
Well, NC State's generating dangerous opportunities right in front of the net. They've had so many of them this period, and this is that last chance. Just directly in front of the net. Really good job there by Herman to generate it. And Finch might hit the post there, actually. Just outside the net. That was a really good opportunity to try to shovel it home.
Good idea to keep throwing the puck on net, though, too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why Brzezinski has a 1.9 goals against average, but today, NC State found his weakness with the chaos in front, as Toyer scoops that one right off the draw. And, you know, Louisville's trying to play their defense where they limit the chaos in front, but NC State's been persistent about it.
Conversation here before the draw on the NC State side. Kaufman to take the draw against his number opposite Ethan McDonough, the Walpole, Massachusetts native. And Louisville wins it straight out of the offensive zone. Shook will go in on the forecheck, trying to put some pressure on Carl Drew. Worked around the wall and chipped into the Louisville bench. This will be a face-off down in the offensive zone now for NC State.
Momentum shifts, and right there might have been one. NC State being able to get the puck out of their own end, and they got that second line out there, but a big face-off loss from Kaufman.
I believe I said it back in the first period. Louisville was a step faster than NC State, as this puck will be iced. Louisville, I think, wants it negated, but icing is the whistle.
That was very, very close there.
As I was saying, I think Louisville looked like the team with an extra step in the first period. NC State probably had a half a step advantage, I would say, on Louisville in the second. They've got a full step advantage on them for the most part here in the third period, and especially after that fourth goal that Prasma scored to tie it up, NC State really seems to be feeling it. They'll win the ozone draw. Kaufman to Strong, back to Thronson. Down the wall, he's got Strong, but it'll be knocked out of the zone, and Patch shoots it in from the red line. Bouncing puck, knocked down by Toyer. He'll set it up for the NC State defense to move with it. Strong through the middle. His pass misses everybody. Cardinals clear it right back in. They've got to check up, though, as their delayed offsides has not been negated. Kaufman now. Right around Drew. He'll walk down the left wing. Drags to the middle. Nice play by Drew on the back check to poke it loose. Puck still there on the side of the goal, though. Thronson slaps it back deep. Furthered along by Kaufman. Centering pass there from Shook. Doesn't get to the middle. And it'll be taken away by Patch on the near wall. He sends it deep. This is going to be waved off. He just barely got to the red line there. But Louisville will get a change with 5:25 to go. Nice little rainbow pass to Herman coming in. He's got a man in the center and a nice stick play made by Brzezinski. Walking in there was Gifford, untouched. Shredders now for the Cardinals. He'll be forced to the wall back behind by Weglars. Puck is still loose over there. You get a look in tight as Zima has it. He'll play it up the wall for Bowers. Back down into the corner. Bowers, well, I thought it was going to come back up to Bowers. NC State shuts down that passing lane, though. And Zima still in control in the corner. Now he's able to find Bowers out at the blue line. He'll pitch it back down below the goal line. Swept back out to Zima. Quick shot on Toyer. He seals it off, and now NC State can advance with it. Lots of space here for Reese Johnson. Cuts towards the inside, throws it into the far corner as he gains the blue line. Gifford sweeps it to the middle. Nobody there for State, though. Back the other way, it's an Estes down the left wing. Bodied up there by Gilmore. He takes it away cleanly, and he'll circle the wagons with it. Poked away, turnover right in front. Toyer attacking it. Not sure he had to make the save there, but a good chance for Louisville as NC State a tad careless in their own end.
And that's generated by Bird. All of that there was just that takeaway right at center, and it was Dalton Carl right in front who had a chance to give Louisville the lead once again.
Reese Johnson, shoots it in from the blue line. NC State's forecheck will go to work. Here's Gilmore. Shot, blocker save made by Brzezinski. Finch on the half wall overskates it. Frosch there to help out and send it in. Back behind the goal, Ranoni. Fake shot from Frosch gets a man down. He'll create some time and space. Looking to shoot it down low. That pass denied. Now Robinson sends it into the corner. Finch working with it. Poked off his stick, sent up the wall, and Frosch can't settle it down. He'll have to chase after it in his own end. Tight turn there by Frosch. He'll look back to the middle. Plenty of space to move for Gilmore. He advances into the zone. Egan Gilmore stops in the corner. Slides it back to the side of the goal. Nobody there to collect for the Pack. And McDonough looking to break out for Louisville. Knocked down by NC State, and they're going to call another hand pass on the ice pack.
Much needed stoppage there, I think, for Louisville. They were starting to get put on their heels a little bit, a lot of tired bodies, and I think Bird, he had a really good hustle, really good play by Frosch to kind of button hook tightly, get away from him in his own defensive end, but Bird had to come off after that. He was tired coming back. A lot of tired bodies for Louisville. That is a big plus that they called a hand pass there on NC State.
Battle moves to the boards in front of the Louisville bench. Off the draw, Cardinals will take control. Prasma steals it away, clears it just outside the blue line as Josh Nardi unable to hold it. And the faceoff comes back in front of the NC State bench.
This line for Louisville right now, Nardi, 7 points, 7 assists. They've got Jonathan Patch out there. He's got 6 goals, 2 assists. In the middle, Noah Malcolm, 3 goals, 2 assists. There's a lot of points getters on this line and defensive line for Louisville right now, but they're going to be pushed back into their own end. We'll see if they can break it out.
2:45 to go. Thronson at the blue line. Slides it down around the wall in the far corner. Prasma gets to it first. A little bit of a bad touch, and Helinski will take it away. Up for Patch. His pass off the mark. Touched back along by McConaughey. NC State to it first as Prasma steers it in. He'll take a hit from McDonough along the wall as he plays it deep. And NC State getting a change. Will have to retreat and defend here. 2:20 to go. Been a heck of a game here for these two teams, especially the way NC State has battled back in the second period and now in the third. Trickling in on Toyer. He'll cover up the puck. And a quick stoppage with a little over 2 minutes to go.
2:08 to go. Who's going to raise up as today's hero? Assuming, next goal more than likely is going to give you the win. With just 2 minutes left. Obviously, things can change quickly. But the way this game has gone, I think the next goal is going to be the game winner.
Certainly will give you a big advantage, whoever gets it.
Especially if it's in regulation.
Quick shot there from Zima. Missed wide of the net. Weglar's behind his own goal. Will pin it to the wall. Needs some help coming in from Kaufman in the four-man scrum. Kaufman steers it along for Shook. Played to the wall. Kept in, though, by Louisville. Second chip out works for Kaufman. This one will roll down the ice up on an edge as the puck. And losing an edge there was Beeman. Does a nice job getting back to it and clearing it up to the blue line. Weglar shoots it right back in, though. Down to a minute and a half left. Now Braden Strong. Played to Shook. Drags with it from the high slot. His shot is blocked, and the puck will float out of the offensive zone for the Pack. They needed an offensive change. They need a wholesale change, actually. So they'll shoot it deep. 1:12 to go. Turnover as Weglar steps up. He'll hold it in the zone on that clearance. Out in front, stepping around. Shot coming from Gifford. He couldn't get it away. Oh, a great chance in tight, but Gifford couldn't quite settle down the puck. And Louisville in control with a minute to play.
That was a prime opportunity for Gifford. Oh, this might be icing, though, against Louisville. No, waved off. That was a great opportunity, though, for NC State and Gifford.
NC State has control here. Gifford looking rink wide. That pass denied, but he maintains possession. Now he finds McConaughey walking it in. Steered away. That shot did Brzezinski behind the net. Shot up the near wall. Thronson just going to retreat and defend against Bird here. 28 seconds to go. Rob Bird's shot deflected wide of the net. He'll go into the corner and battle there as Louisville comes away with it. Nardi. Blue line pass. Shot coming. Deflected away. Now Herman with 13 seconds. Looking forward for Gifford. Too far. This is going to be icing. And with 8.2 to go on the clock, NC State going to have to defend here in order to get to overtime.
And interesting who Louisville brings out here. They're going to keep that first line out there, it looks like, with Dalton Carl. NC State's going to call a timeout, make sure everything defensively is right, kind of just go over. If you get possession, get it out of the zone. That's all that matters right now, and I think this gives Louisville an opportunity to bring their best line out there. I think you need to get Bird out there right now. He's getting a lot of break. He's on the bench, just had a long shift. We'll see what Louisville does.
We'll get a look here at that last chance for NC State. That's a great step by Weglars to create it. He steps in, and again you see him make a play, and then he finds Gifford, and looks like somebody got a stick to it. I think that was Jack Bowers, the junior out of Bethesda, Maryland. who makes the defensive play that probably saves the goal. But I'm a little bit surprised to see NC State call that timeout. I couldn't tell you exactly how long these 5 skaters have been out there, so my guess is they needed a little bit of a break. But on the flip side, you also give Louisville a chance here to set up a play and try and create an opportunity here in the final 8 seconds and avoid overtime.
I think it's also you want to get your best guys out there, and you want your best face-off guy out there. And look it over, it's going to be Zach Herman. And you want those best defensive guys, those big bodies out there. If Herman loses it, you want to block as many shots as you can. If you win it, you just want to get it out and play for overtime.
Well, the good news for NC State is they have Zach Herman to take the draw. He's been strong all weekend, including today, up against number 4, Dalton Carl of Louisville. And it's one into the corner nicely by Herman. Sent off the glass, glove down by Scott Daniel. Played forward for Oliver, and that will finish off regulation time. NC State trailed 3-1 after 1 period, but they have outscored the Cardinals 3-1 since then, and we've got some free hockey.
Yeah, free hockey on a Sunday, why not? Second overtime game in 2 weeks for the Ice Pack. And something to note, Coach Tim Healy has only suffered 2 overtime losses. First being a couple years ago, and then the second being 2 last week against UNC. And this is his 5th year as head coach. This is only the 3rd overtime game at home NC State's played in the past 2 years. And Chris, I'll let you tell the folks at home once again how overtime works here in the ACHA.
Well, not a whole lot of difference between the ACHA's overtime procedures and the NHL's. It will be 5 minutes of 3-on-3 hockey for these 2 teams. After that, if nobody's able to find the back of the net, it'll be a 3-man shootout, and there is an exception if you take a penalty and you are in the penalty box at the end of overtime. You are not eligible to shoot. Everybody else is. And we didn't run into an issue with that in the North Carolina game last weekend. But we'll keep an eye out here, especially with the physicality. Although you look at it, haven't seen a penalty since about the halfway point of the 3rd period. It was that slashing penalty that they called on Cooper O'Neill. So I would imagine, unless it absolutely has to be called, we will play on here in overtime. NC State going to go with Prasma, Herman, and Thronson. On the flip side for the Louisville Cardinals, it's Dalton Carl out there along with Andrew Murray and the defenseman, no surprise, Dick Beeman.
And I think 3-on-3, a lot more space. We're not going to see a lot of the physicalities we saw before. Overtime's all about possession, and NC State will have it first.
Well, Zach Herman continuing to be good on the draw. Thronson off the glass, bouncing puck gets past Herman. Beeman trying to play it up and out. NC State able to keep it. Prasma settles it down, being pestered by Carl as he enters the zone. Turns with it, looking for Thronson. That one's knocked away. Carl now has a chance. He's going to move in on a breakaway, looking to end it. Shoots and scores! Carl on the turnover, the captain for Louisville, ends it 26 seconds into overtime, and NC State falls here to the Cardinals.
It's all about possession. And a bad turnover from NC State. And the captain, Dalton Carl, wins it for the Cardinals. An absolute heartbreaker for NC State. Just not the best pass to center ice. Here comes Carl the other way. Toyer's got to come out. It's the 3rd goal he's allowed because he doesn't have any help from his defense because it's just him and the skater with the puck. Not much you can do there, especially against the captain, a senior from Doylestown, Pennsylvania. And it's going to end up as a disappointment of a weekend for the Ice Pack, dropping 2 of 3 here in the tournament.
And as you kind of go back to the start of overtime, obviously a very quick sequence for NC State there in overtime, but it starts with the pass from Thronson, and you want to get it to Herman. You want to make sure you don't turn it over on your own end. I was a little surprised to see him elevate that pass. It made it tough for Herman to handle, and after that, NC State had trouble controlling it. That's kind of what led to the turnover on the pass by Prasma, and Carl makes NC State pay for it. Good finish to the weekend, though, or generally speaking, I think for NC State, you want the result, but you got the effort you needed after a tough first period.
Yeah, definitely, and you won the 3rd period, but you didn't win the overtime. You get a period win technically, but you don't get the game win. And it's a skid now for NC State. 3 of their last 4, all at home, all losses. So something needs to happen for NC State, I think. They tried new line changes after back-to-back losses. It worked last night. Today, we saw benefits of it. That second line, Strong, Kaufman, and Shook. But I think today, in that first period, that slow start is ultimately what cost them, because they outplayed Louisville in the last 40 minutes. And then in overtime, you didn't play the first 20 minutes. Well, Louisville did. They took advantage of that fresh start. And then in overtime, they said, we're going to outplay you just like how we did in the first period, or really whole 60 minutes of the game. We're going to outplay you right at the beginning, and we're going to get goals, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, it's a tough way to finish off the weekend for NC State. It looked like they had all the momentum going into overtime, but they will fall at the hands of Louisville 5-4 in overtime. That's all here at Invisalign Arena. We'll have some post-game coming up for you here in just a few minutes, but NC State will look to bounce back next weekend as they take on the Penn State Ice Lions here at Invisalign Arena. We'll be back. NC State falls in overtime, 5-4.
My name is Zach Herman. I'm the captain of the NC State Ice Pack, and I was born and raised in the Raleigh area. We are a self-funded program doing our best to represent our university and the local hockey community in Raleigh on a national level.
My name is Alex James, and I'm a senior assistant captain from Lake Norman, North Carolina. The group you're watching out on the ice is a family, and that family does its best to represent you and the rest of the NC State community as best we can each and every day. Some of my top memories from this program include playing in front of over 20,000 NC State fans at Carter Finley, playing in front of over 10,000 NC State fans at Lenovo Center every year, and getting to play in front of a packed house every Friday night at Invisalign Arena.
We welcome and appreciate all your support along the way. Go Pack!
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour, and guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Well, it's another tough one to swallow for the Ice Pack here today. They fall in overtime 5-4 at the hands of the Louisville Cardinals. Chris Lehman back alongside Nick Perazzi after the NC State loss. And Nick, as you kind of reflect on it, obviously a tough start for NC State ends up kind of being the difference as they weren't able to fully recover even though they do tie it and force overtime. But the other thing I look at is you got 3 losses now if you're NC State over the last couple of weekends. They're all by 1 goal, and 2 of them took extra time.
Yeah, and they had, minus today's game, they had leads in all of those games.
Yep.
The other 2 they had a lead in. They blew it in the third period. Today they had to come back in the third period, and they do it, but they can't get it done in overtime. And, one thing I noted, during that little break from coming over here, Chris, I'm looking at the shot total on my iPad right now. It was 14-10 that final period in favor of Louisville. Louisville, once they gave up the tying goal, they started getting some momentum back. Even after each goal NC State got, they started building off of it. They got Nick Beeman to give them that 4-3 lead, and then NC State answered right back. And then once again, Louisville just kept building on it, forced a bad turnover, and then the captain was there to finish things up.
And I think when you look at this weekend, it'll be interesting to see how NC State comes out against Penn State next weekend, because this, to me, kind of becomes a wake-up call weekend for NC State. You obviously get the win you expect to get over Bowling Green, but two teams that you definitely feel capable of beating if you're NC State. And when you look at the way the games went, they certainly had their chances to win against UNH and Louisville. But you got two teams. One of them's going to be a Division I opponent for you next year in Louisville today, and then, of course, UNH could easily make the jump. Perennial contender in Division II. They've won a national championship. That's your measuring stick. And if you're NC State right now, you're going to see a lot more teams like that next year, and you got to be ready for it.
It's not going to be sunshine and lollipops, that's for sure. Start out 7-0. Every team every year faces a moment in their season where they got to dig deep. They run into some adversity. For NC State, 7-0 start and then drop 3 of the next 4. This is that dig deep moment, because this Penn State team coming to town next week, you can't play around with them. This is a very good team. Now, I believe they split with last year up there in Happy Valley. So you got to be prepared looking to next week. It's the final game of this final weekend of this long homestand. If you're NC State, you got to dig deep, and you got to start defining yourself as a team.
Well, NC State will certainly look inside and try and figure out how to correct things heading into next weekend. We're going to step aside here for a few minutes. I'll come back and wrap things up with head coach Tim Healy right after this. Chris Lehman back alongside Nick Perazzi here as we wrap things up at Invisalign Arena. Coach Healy and the Ice Pack obviously still talking things over. There's a lot to talk about because this team does have some things to figure out, but as we talked about last segment there, it's a lot of small things. They're right there. The losses they have, 2 of them have gone past regulation. 1 of them even passed overtime, and the other one went right down to the wire against the Wildcats of New Hampshire. So they're right there, but it's the small things that they need to clean up a little bit.
They can grasp it. They just can't get it. And when you're right there, it's just small things that pile up, and it's what makes these losses just even more deflating. An example I'm thinking of is the Carolina Hurricanes in the playoffs. You know, they're right there the past couple of years and making the Cup final, winning the Eastern Conference, and it's the little things, the power plays that they have, the penalty kills, and this can be equated to NC State right now and how their losses feel. They're right there to be one of the best, if not the best, here in the ACCHL, and it's just the little things right now that's holding them back. They've got a lot of work on for that, and when they sort them out, this team is going to be a fun watch to have. I said it a couple weeks ago after their win against Alabama. This is not the best NC State team we're going to see this season, and so far we still haven't seen that team come out and onto this rink.
Well, I do think it's going to be really exciting to see how they come out on Friday against Penn State, because I think it's going to be, I don't know if microcosm is the right way to put it, but it's going to be pretty similar, I think, to the way that they started the second period here today. You know, they got a fire lit under them by their captain in Zach Herman. They came out, had a great second period, and were able to battle back into the game. I would expect with some more time, as well as a couple of practices to try and work on some of those things that haven't worked out for them, they're going to come out very strong against the Lions.
Yeah, I think they will as well, and it's just going to be the leadership is going to be the big thing. Leadership got them back into this game. Leadership got them the win yesterday, I believe. It's going to take more leadership. It's a very young team. Leadership is what leads young teams to great things and builds upon it for years and years on end. You got to look to leadership here on how they're going to come out Friday. You're not blaming leadership for the loss. I'm actually giving them credit for coming back into this game. The leadership's going to tell how good they come out on Friday against the Ice Lions.
Well, they do have some time to figure some things out, and it'll be another great weekend as there are 2 games against Penn State on Friday and Saturday next week. That's all we have for you for the weekend. NC State goes 1-1-1 on the weekend as they pick up a win over Bowling Green, an overtime loss here today, and of course the loss in regulation to New Hampshire. Thanks for joining us here this weekend at the Stephen Russell Memorial Tournament. For the rest of our crew and Nick Perazzi, we thank you for joining us. Final count, Louisville 5, NC State 4 in overtime.